2 minutes. So I probably just need to check.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Friday Night Social with the technically inept Mike Dix, with our friends from North America, Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
G'day.
From the northern state of the USA, otherwise known as Canada.
We are not a state.
Don't go there.
We are not a state.
And Mikey from the former Democracy of America,
from the blistered, frozen tundra of Chicago.
Is it cold?
No, it's boiling hot now.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm happy.
It's usually tundra, but now it's lava field.
You just get extremes, don't you? Isn't the weather just? It's either freezing cold. You may as well be in Alaska, or just super hot for a few months. Basically.
Pretty much.
There's kind of nothing in between.
That sounds about right for Mikey.
Yeah.
This is why Trump is over here this weekend, enjoying Scotland.
He's over there. Yeah, he's in Scotland touring your golf courses.
Yeah,
throwing his golf ball around.
Graham is telling me that there is no sound on our outputs, and that will be possibly. All right, can somebody in the chat just let me know whether, or Mikey, can you check?
Oh, I hear it.
Ours is working, Mikey. Ours is working, Mikey. Yeah.
Point of order, no sound.
Point of order. Order.
It's like,
order.
I'm gonna get a disturbing echo in my ear because I'm having to play the desktop audio. So if
is that it?
So can somebody just give me, right, let's just do a technical, Mikey, which we could have probably done in the 5 minutes that we were running up there, basically.
That's why
I'm putting out the desktop audio, but what I should be probably putting out is the Zoom audio, shouldn't I?
No, desktop is
I'm
fine.
all right putting out desktop.
Yeah.
Desktop is fine.
That's what you want.
And
Whatever's going to your ears, that's what you want.
Somebody's telling me that I am still muted.
Uh-oh.
Really? Oh. They're saying they can hear us, though? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys talk and explain that I'm just technically incompetent.
Mikey, I heard something interesting today.
What did you hear interesting today?
Did they approve a $1.2 billion detention center in the desert in Texas?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because,
Biggest
it's
one
not
ever
like
built.
it's not like they needed that money for, I don't know, floodplains. Floodplains.
Yeah.
If only someone.
Can somebody in the chat tell me whether they can hear me?
I think Ollie's got it going up.
Well, the thing is, his chat's 30 seconds behind, so we won't know for a few seconds, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's gonna. It is running on slow, so
yeah.
And I'm also getting a terrible echo in my ear.
Oh yeah, no, that's no good.
That's
I
so
have
annoying.
stream actually. Yeah. Can you just right-click on the window and mute the window that you're playing the stream in? Is that where you're getting the echo from?
I'm going to let you two talk.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm just going to try and get the audio from the Zoom call. They can't hear me.
But over in the chat over here, if you guys want to hang out over at the bin side for now. Oh, they can't hear me anyway, but maybe the subtitles? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Hello, Russell. Hello, Kay, and Bruno, and L, and Greg. Dark Lord Greg is with us. Tell him to get over here. We can hear Mike fine. Well, that's the thing. They can't hear us tell them that. Only problem with the plan.
Graham has told me that I've got monitor sound on. I've just turned it off. I turned it off before Graham told me that. So,
yeah, Graham.
Well, that's that.
Thanks, Graham, for coming in with that late news.
Yeah,
that
thanks. This is Graham's fault.
That's right. All Graham's fault.
I thought I was doing all right. I did. I've done 3 of Graham's morning shows.
Yeah.
And they've got progressively easier. I mean, you guys, Mikey, you do this a lot.
Yes.
This morning I was in awe of what Graham does every day, and I know that sometimes he, can leave it till just 10 minutes before a show, basically, for his prep.
Yeah.
But I still find it quite an overpowering amount of technology that I'm trying to deal with at the same time as think about what I'm going to say and check that cameras are working and stuff like that. So it's really impressive what you guys do.
It's not so bad. It's the setup. The setup is the bad part, right? Like getting everything to work the way you want it to work, so you can just come in with a cup of coffee, type in a couple of things, and you're good to go. That takes like 2 weeks to set up, and for it to work that way. But before then, you're just kind of like, "Come on, work, please, please, please." Oh no, it didn't work.
It's just
you
tend to.
This isn't working.
You think you've got everything set up, and then you just go, okay.
And as soon as you think you got it, that's when you know you've made a mistake. Like if you think your show is going to go well, then you are in the you have counted wrong somewhere.
There's definitely something up.
Yep, something's definitely forgotten if you're that cocky about it. But I think at this point, I'm at least several thousand streams in that I've done. So
you've got a muscle memory for this now.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I reckon if I did this every day, eventually I'd be able to turn my microphone on when I start a stream.
I have a crease and a groove.
It's my ambition.
I have a OBS groove in my brain for all the all the stuff.
I'm just going to recognize people in the chat. There is a certain Graham Hughes Travels in the chat who's been advising me all the way through. I've been saying this every morning, Mikey, right?
Just tell him to call
He's taken some time off, right? It's important that he gets a rest and takes some time off, and I've stepped in to try and keep his channel alive for the last few days. But he's always in the chat monitoring me, like the kind of boss, that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going away on holiday, and don't worry about the security cameras that I've put in your office. Don't worry about that. It's not a problem.
Big brothering.
Hey, I'm not going to I'm not going to keep an eye on you. I'm just going to leave this teddy bear in the corner.
Yeah, it's for your
protection. I just listened to the stream for a minute. It all sounds good now, by the way.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thanks. Yeah. The chat seems to be saying that as well. So we will go back to the beginning, guys, because we've now got audio. So welcome all of you to the chat, except the big bad boss, Graham, who's just monitoring us to make sure that we say, please make sure that
all hail Graham.
All hail the great Graham. Oh, we have to do the sponsor segment. There's his book. This edition of the Friday Night Social is sponsored by Man of the World by Graham Hughes, who is actually traveling the world at the moment. We're not allowed to disclose his location because he's being tracked by MI6. But he is
someplace east of west
and north of south.
And in the chat, we've got Trip, we've got Ellie Chaos. Ellie Chaos keeps trying to tell me something about 2.5 mics, and I don't know what she's referring to there. We've got
Am I half music. A mic? Is that what she's trying to say? I'm half a mic?
Damn. I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss.
I don't know.
Who can
I
say?
kind
It's
of
the
feel
other-
like two mics myself with the size of me. Come on now.
It's the other thing I found all week doing the morning show as well, Morning Brew, is that you keep remembering to go and look at the chat. But obviously everybody's chatting to each other and you just join a conversation halfway through with no context, read it out and go, okay, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what's being said. Shall I just go quiet for 2 minutes and try and read back and get context?
The chat is a bunch of sociopaths. I would never read what they have to say.
That's very
No,
unfair.
we don't want to hear. We don't want to talk to them. No.
No, they're
I
mean.
think-
They're mean. All they do is make fun of me every time. They're like, "I remember when Mikey was so stupid." I'm like, "Yes, I remember every day."
That's not true of the chat. That's Twitter you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh yeah.
You're right. You're right.
I joined in almost Supertansky's posts this week, which was about the subject of this video. She just happened to say something about Jeremy Corbyn's new party, and that's Scott.
Ooh.
How are
So,
you?
Scott.
Scott demonstrating that he has air conditioning and can sustain an ice cream in this weather.
Ice cream.
He has frozen novelties.
I had frozen novelty earlier.
How are you, Scott? How's your week been?
Hi, Scott.
It's been all right. I haven't done much. Just been working, going to the gym, all that good shit.
Gym life.
Yeah, and yeah.
Na, na,
What's going on
na,
here, guys?
na.
Well, we've been. You joined us just as we resolved the technical problem, Scott, which meant
Ah,
that
there was technical
nobody could hear
problem.
what I was saying. Mikey was in charge, and Ollie was doing our technical support. And then, yeah, it's really entertaining. And
Are you online?
one angry. Who knows whether we're online?
It's a philosophical question.
I have no
check.
idea.
I'll have a look.
It's possible. It's
Yeah, no,
perfect.
we're online. We checked. Yeah.
Oh,
People in the
okay,
chat
all right.
seem to be referring to what we're doing, so I'm taking that
Oh,
as a
well, that
sign
helps.
we might be. We might be online.
They could be trolling.
Can I just thank
Possibly.
One Angry Pagan for the first super chat? £2 from One Angry Pagan. Frigs, love and blessings this fine Frigs Day. Badger,
Okay,
badger,
what
badger.
the
Badger,
what-
badger.
What the frig does that mean?
Well, Friday means Frigs Day.
Frig's Day.
Frigg is a
It's
goddess.
Norse.
Yes.
It's
Frig
one
is
of
a
the
goddess,
few
yes.
Oh, I don't know
names of the
anything
week.
about goddesses, do I?
Most
Like
of the
Wednesday
days
is
of the
named
week.
for Odin or Woden, right?
Yeah, every day of the
Thursday
week.
is named for Thor.
Yeah. Thursday, Thor. Tuesday is Chew.
Um,
Monday
Chewbacca.
is Moon Day.
Luna.
Monday
yeah.
is Moon Day. Saturday is Saturn Day, right?
Sunday
Sunday is the
is-
Sunday.
I had no
Right?
idea
It's-
any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. But hey, Christian nation, as we celebrate things on Thor's Day.
We're actually a Viking nation.
And then on Mars Day, which is Martes, which is Thursday?
Yep.
Martes. Yeah.
Mars Day. I mean, the French call them by the planets, don't they?
Sounds right. I'm not
Is
sure.
that right? Marday, I don't know.
Okay, let's
This
just
is why
start
we
from
needed-
Monday. We'll go to Monday. Sunday is the sun. Monday is the moon.
Yeah.
Tuesday is miércoles
The one I don't know.
in
don't-
Spanish, which is Mercury.
Okay.
Okay.
Wednesday is Woden, which is
Yeah.
which is
Odin.
Jupiter. I think.
It's also. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Vorden.
And then Thursday, Thor. Friday is
Frig's Day.
Frigg's Day. Or
Saturday
Martes
is
is Mars Day. And then Saturday is Saturn.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
Well,
a-
thank you for that, guys. That's really enlightened my life. So
If
what's
we had an
going on in
8-day week,
politics?
we'd have
And not the
Uran-
planet Saturn, the god Saturn from the Roman mythos.
Yes.
If we could have an 8th day, we'd probably call it Uranus Day.
Yep.
I think we should get a
Oh,
day.
it's my favorite day.
Earth Day. Earth Day. You're not allowed to do shit.
I
That'd
like
be
that
great.
Everybody
We
relax.
should
I actually-
do something to help the earth.
Yeah, you got to
I have
plant
a
a tree,
long,
water a bush.
long-running hard disk project called The 8th Day,
Giggity.
which is about a diary that has 8 days a week in it, and everything you write in the 8th day it just happens to you and has no impact on the other 7 days. And I just cannot find the way to into. I think it's a rom-com.
So
I think two
everybody's
people,
eighth day, they're in their own pocket dimension, doing their own shit, not affecting anybody else.
Yeah.
and then two people managed to connect up on the eighth day and recognize each other in the other seven.
Well,
And
okay.
it's Hugh Grant and probably a 20-year-old actress. That's what
Then why
I'm
don't you?
thinking.
Then why don't you use Leo?
Yeah.
It's like-
Guaranteed, the actress will be under 25.
yeah, exactly. Playing 40. That's the obvious output there. So, Scott, do you want to join your party?
No.
What?
Are you sure?
Join your party.
I don't know. I might do it for fun. How much is it?
Well, at the moment it's free. You just sign up for a newsletter.
Yeah, fine. I'm gonna
That's too much.
see what they're all about.
When they
But
drop the
Yeah,
I
I don't
honestly don't. I think it's all very dumb. Like we don't live in the system yet that will allow a party like that to win or thrive. All we're doing is splitting our vote for the left
Potentially.
and letting fuck us and win the next general election. So that's my opinion on it.
See-
I'm sure it's not very popular with some, the Corbyn people, but I don't give a fuck.
See, now
What
your
is the-
parliament can like if you have three different bodies of government and you have one that gets like say 46% of the vote, one that gets 20% of the vote, and one that gets the rest. Can two of those parties work together to form a majority
We have
government?
had coalition governments recently, yes, in
Okay.
2010.
That because that's what happens here, right?
Yeah.
So
So in
they
2010,
don't do that in the States. So-
no, it's
All or
a
nothing.
party system.
Yeah.
Winner
So no,
take
in
all.
2010, the conservatives had to form a government with another party. They just didn't have enough. There wasn't enough numbers. It was just too split. So they needed to find someone to go with to get a majority, and they went to the liberal Democrats who just really wrongly got into bed with them just to get an idea of what power felt like. And it really destroyed that party for a long time. It's taken a long time for them to sort of get on their feet and be some sort of political force again, because people who would support the liberal Democrats would in no fucking way support the conservative party. So that was a big fucking mess. So it's happened before. Could Labor and your party become the party of government? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Well, how would that work? I mean,
yeah,
Corbyn, when he was in the Labour Party, voted against the Labour Party most of the time. So I'm
Literally.
not convinced he could form a coalition.
They see themselves as some sort of, they're clearly going to see themselves as some sort of alternative to the Labour Party. I think now the best thing to do would be to get someone progressive to lead the party, and then maybe your party will fall back a little bit.
Well, did you see? I'm not sure of where the reporting's from and whether it's a direct quote, but Keir Starmer has apparently sort of said that Nigel Farage is the official opposition effectively now in this country.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I kind of buy it. And it's because the Conservative Party is so fucking useless now. It is a broken. The party is a broken flesh. They're so in the woods. They don't know what's going on. You can at least turn around and say, with the Reform Party, they have some popularity on their side right now. So
Yeah,
it makes sense to say it. I'm very upset because there's a counselor that's just been voted in my constituency from Reform, and I am very upset, very upset about it.
not to dox you, but what's the constituency? Is it
I can't say
South
it would
South London, North London?
It's a South London. It might give it away. I really don't want to say, guys, but
No. But
I would-
is it inner city or is it closer to the M25?
we're closer to the M25, but I am in a London zone.
What's up,
We have a question for you guys in our chat.
Ooh.
Question. I heard that Starmer basically laid off some MPs. It sounded a bit sketchy to me. Can a Brit explain it, please? That's from
So,
Trump failed, haha.
So basically, what Starmer did is I think he got rid of some rebels. So some of the rebels that voted against the disabled benefits bill or whatever. I
Welfare
think
bill.
he took away the whip, which you know what that means. Sorry.
It always strikes me they say it's removing the whip, and I always wonder where the whip has been kept for him to remove it from them, basically.
But yeah, so they've taken away the power to vote. Um, to
They're
vote
no
for
longer
shit.
part of the Labour Party
That's
in
not
Parliament.
really part of the Labour Party. I mean, they can't vote on anything, can they? They're just
No, they
made
can
lame
vote.
ducks.
No, they can totally vote, and they can vote with the government or against the government. They're just independent MPs now. And then they can go off and join the Corbyn Party or Reform or whatever they want. I was reading that the reason Starmer's doing it is to try and lay down the law before the budget at the end in October, because what he's done is pick out some of the ones that were organising against the government.
Yep.
Made them a scapegoat for this and just said, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you vote against us. We're going to kick you out of the party, and they'll probably bring them back within 6 months, shamefaced, so that they vote alongside the budget, which is going to be potentially quite contentious this year, I think.
So it's not that they're not MPs anymore; it's that they've been
they're still
basically removed
MPs.
from the party.
They're kind of removed from representing the party.
They still get the salary and the expenses. They lose the support network and infrastructure of the Labour Party.
And the shitty thing about that is people voted them because of the party. Voted for them because. So what you're literally doing by doing that is you're actually making a constituency of people that a majority voted for that party.
Yeah.
You're not. It's very much a political move. It's not in the interest of actual constituents.
No, it's about party management. I mean, they've had a number of votes where people have voted against the government, and arguably for good reasons on the welfare bill in particular.
But this is the thing, and this is where we are. And I'm at this point now where it pains me to say we need another leader. And we need someone that's more progressive, and we need to bring out even more progressive cabinet in now. This was kind of what I had hoped we would do at some point anyway. And I think we just need, because we need to be able to fight off any split that can happen, and it is happening. So, because the idea of reform becoming a ruling party in this country is a very terrifying and well, I think that's a good enough word for it there, terrifying thought. We need to be doing what we can to prevent that from happening rather than trying to make everyone love the Labor Party. Like, let's give some people the shit that they want, right? And if that means borrowing, I'm like, let's do it. I don't give a fuck. Like, just let's start doing some shit that the working class are gonna feel, and they're gonna be seen on, and they're gonna feel it in their pockets and in their quality of life, and then there's a chance that reform will be,
I mean, it's interesting only in terms of what happened in Canada, that what isn't happening here is that Farage is incredibly closely linked to Trump. He's been on the same stage as him. Yeah. And I think he's done a reasonable job of separating himself from Trump, or Trump has done a reasonable job of separating himself from Farage over the last 12 months. But, in Canada, there was a massive backlash against that. Now, obviously, Canada was under threat, but that turned an election around. Whereas what's happening here is almost the opposite. That Trump is definitely not popular in this country, except for a few madmen and women. But that isn't reflecting on Farage. Farage is, his party is at sort of 30-35% in the polls at the moment and leading the pack. Labour is on about 20%. And the Tories down nowhere. And, I think he's separating himself from the Trump relationship on purpose, and also stealing some left-wing policies.
But he's not, because he's... Sorry,
I wouldn't focus it on Trump. You got to remember, Trump didn't he doesn't have a plan. He's just up there fucking freestyling. This is the Project 2025 thing. So it's the crypto clats or whatever they're called now. You know, it's those guys that are the same ones that are funding Vought, like Peter Thiel and Palantir and all that shit. The same big money back there in the back rooms over here is the same ones over there. It's the same guys. It's the same dudes trying out shit.
Keir Starmer, when he visited the States recently, his second meeting was with Peter Thiel and Palantir, and the new NHS software rollout is going to be done by guess who?
Yeah, see,
Palantir.
fuck that.
Yeah, the tech bros are embedding themselves in our country.
I'm about to get a house.
Can I just call out? I just want to call out a couple of super chats. Ivan Ambrose, thank you very much for the £9.99. Some in the Tories said that they have apologised enough. Others say that they have to keep apologising.
Yes, they
need
do.
to know. Yeah. They need to know that the electorate are the judge on whether they have apologised enough or not. I don't think I've even really heard them apologize. I've heard a couple
apologize
of
for anything. The kid be better not buries her head in the sand. She's an ostrich. You know.
If you believed her, you'd think Keir Starmer's been in power for the last.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, exactly. It's so dysfunctional.
He's been there like a whole year.
It's been just over a year, but she seems to blame him for everything.
She blames him for
everything. For everything in the last 14 years, she tries to put it on him.
For 15 years bizarre. We've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
Paula Thomas, thank you for the £2 super chat to tell me that Scott, your sound is a bit low. It's fine with me, but
it is low. Yeah, I can hear you fine too.
Is that a little bit better for you?
Too.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
If you look on your little mute button down there, that little arrow that goes up, I would check your audio settings because for us, it starts us off at like 15%, and I'm usually at like 50. So it might have started you off low. It does that for me every friggin' time, even though I'm signed in. Remember my settings, you damn thing.
Before we went live and ridiculously did it without any audio, by the sounds of it, basically we were discussing how terrible this software is. When you think that, I mean, Teams is definitely worse, but when you think that we went through a couple of years of COVID with everybody using this stuff, and
I don't mind either. I think they do the function that they are.
They do the job.
To do.
I suppose so. I
Skype
get to talk
was
to
the
my
best,
mother on it, and you guys. So.
It is. It's a shame.
Skype was literally a diamond in the rough.
Where I work, we use Slack. That's shit.
Slack is also very bad.
Terrible.
I'm not sure who's selling all of these products to all of these like CEOs and shit, but there's nothing that makes my workday easier than 7,000 notifications. You know what I mean? Like, I have to mute my phone so I can focus on work, and then work also is filled with notifications. Like, you gotta stop. And
is that better, guys? Yeah. I mean, I put my input volume right up, so I'm hoping that will be better for everybody.
It does sound louder.
Tell us in the chat if
you
can.
Closer, but I put the input volume right up.
We'll wait 30 seconds for the chat to respond.
Yeah, right.
Vendetta in the chat is agreeing with you, Scott, and saying that Slack is wank. Basically.
Slack sucks. I mean, we to do calls. They don't do calls. It's called a huddle. Gross. And it's I know it is so pretentious, and that's because you can add other people, right? And then you do this huddle. You have to literally wait for the person to, want to join your huddle, and you can just very easily mute a notification for a huddle, and it doesn't disconnect you. It keeps you there. It lets you wait for that person until they decide they want to join your huddle. It sucks. And then you got all these channels, right? So companies will set up all these different ways of distributing different information. It's spam, and it's annoying. And then the way they interface their DMs, I just think it's just fucking terrible. I can see my DMs in a much better way on Teams than I can on Slack. So that's my bugbear. I use it every fucking day. It drives me nuts. So yes.
We have a correction from our days of the week. Tuesday is Martes, Wednesday is Miércoles. So Tuesday is Mars and Wednesday is Mercury. And also, one angry pagan
Okay.
says Anglo-Saxon, not Viking/North. Both are Germanic, sure, but for Anglo-Saxons, it was Thunor, not Thor.
The Nor.
Yeah, Thunor. But he's
Okay.
got the ancient scripts on there. I can't ever. I always like the A with the E next to it.
Yeah. I don't even know how you pronounce that. We'd have to ask one
No,
angry
I don't
pagan.
know either.
I think it's an
That's-
sound or something.
It's when people say eggs instead of eggs. That's the sound. It's that
Right.
A. The A with
Eggs.
a little bit of an E on it. Eggs. And their legs.
So it's a Canadian
Hey.
word. I got you. Okay.
It's totally, yeah.
Speaking of Canadians,
Totally.
South Park decided to nuke Paramount. Good for them.
Yep. Why do you blame that on
Brilliant.
Canadian?
Absolutely
South Park is not
wonderful.
Canadian.
It was just a
Huh?
segue, Ali. Don't read too much into it.
Absolutely wonderful episode of South Park, and you can't watch it on Paramount Plus here. I did watch it online, and whoo wee.
Well, they put out the juicy
They
bit for
pretty much
everybody
put the whole thing out anyway. Yeah.
on YouTube. You can watch the part that Trump's really mad about, where his
Yes.
little
Oh yes.
his little itty bitty pee is on on
full
screen.
Full display.
And then after we see his itty bitty pee, he crawls into bed with Satan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's truly
And I
wonderful.
loved how they had him talking like Saddam Hussein the
Yeah.
whole fucking time.
Yes, which was so poetic. And
Yeah.
the whole thing, it was a Saddam Hussein Satan conversation as per those conversations back in
Exactly.
the day. And yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely wonderful. They didn't really even need to think about it that much. And they just went, right, we're going to make him Saddam Hussein 'cause he's a dictator. And we're going to put his face, like we did with Saddam Hussein, on the thing. And we're
they didn't animate him.
Gonna make him talk just like it, and done. And that's all you needed to do. Make fun of his little willy, and make fun of the fact that he sues everybody. I mean, hysterical. Hysterical.
They just got $1.5 billion for the last couple
For
seasons.
the next 50 episodes of South Park. So that is going to be
fire us. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're-
Still got to
we
pay
your
me.
hope
money.
every
We've got your
episode.
money. But I mean,
I'll
it was
start-
amazing on some of the like the sort of TikTok videos that they released. There are actually MAGAs on there going, "I'm a MAGA." I thought this was funny. You know,
It was funny.
Yeah, there's people that are literally going, "Yeah, you can't laugh at yourself. This is funny." I'm just
I think it
okay,
also
well, wait until they really start making fun of you guys, because that's what's next. You know,
this and the
you gotta open the scope. They're gonna start taking piss out of the MAGAs, and that's gonna be harsh.
Well, I don't know. I think they'll focus on Trump. I was talking about this in Morning Brew this morning. That I think that with Murdoch using the Wall Street Journal as a tiny wedge to start really chinking away at Trump.
He's got to get Fox to do the same thing though. He owns Fox. He's got to make.
Well, I think that was my conspiracy theory this morning. I think that's what's happening slowly, basically. And I think he's paving the way with the Wall Street Journal because he knows nobody that watches Fox reads that. And Fox isn't reporting the story at all, but he's just paving the way. And it's kind of he's baiting Trump into fucking this up. And I reckon JD Vance is entirely involved in this. Did you see that JD Vance took a flight to meet with Murdoch, with Rupert and Lachlan? In June, at the end of June, just before the week before the first bawdy picture story was put out, and the same week that Elon Musk said that Trump is in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
So if you want a conspiracy theory, my theory is that Vance and Thiel and Musk are moving with Murdoch now, because Murdoch has got, Murdoch lost a lot of money over the Dominion voting machines, and although very wealthy man. Probably not a big effect. It's had an effect.
$530 million. It's not that much.
I think $787 million. I think with all the settlement. But that hit, and losing people like Tucker Carlson, which whether that was a good thing or not within Fox, basically that's a big chunk of audience that vanished for him late at night on Fox TV, which must have lost advertising.
Well, they got.
And then you've got.
Well, they got a bunch of morons now. They're in this little round table, and they all sound ridiculous. I don't mind being called a Nazi. You know, they just sound absolutely moronic.
Are you trying to downplay the great comedy stylings of Greg Gutfeld, Mike? How dare you?
Mike.
He is
Do you think-
hilarious.
Do you think CBS
Oh
will
my
employ Gutfield to take over Colbert's show next May?
That'd be funny.
They're ending that show. They're gonna
Well, they're ending
right.
They're ending this
They're
show
ending
so
the
they
late
get
night
rid
show.
of the history of that show. But are they?
Yeah.
They are talking about putting something on more friendly to a wider audience.
Oh,
That's what
definitely
they're
they are.
discussing.
Yeah.
Which suggests it's going to go a bit
No,
MAGA.
yeah.
It'll be great. It's just like every one of their other projects. They can dump a bunch of money into it, just like Ben Shapiro, and look at what that investment got you. You got shit on by Joe Rogan, who eats mushrooms and talks about fucking pyramids on Mars for 16 hours a week, and he's shitting all over your number one guy. And now the Midas Touch Boys have taken over Rogan's spot. Like, they can keep fucking with we got rid of Colbert. That's fine. He'll go on YouTube and he'll be 13 times more popular if he gets a YouTube channel than if he if he just did like memberships and like a live stream once a week, he'd have 40, 50, 60,000 people in that live stream. And that would make up all of the money that he would have ever missed per episode.
He's streams of the during the pandemic, they all went on YouTube, didn't they? His show went on YouTube during the pandemic, and
I don't remember.
He got really big numbers, and it was incredibly popular, incredibly entertaining.
There's talk of him
and Jon
teaming
Stewart
up with Rachel Maddow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, to do a serious and funny show.
They would not need. They don't need a fucking network. They don't need a network. If they had a Twitch channel, they would completely sustain them. They would completely sustain themselves.
I think there's two things I'd love to say on this. One is I think that both the South Park and the Colbert Story demonstrate the power of contracts within the television industry, because CBS come out and say we're cancelling this show in 10 months' time because if we're contractually obliged to Colbert and it will cost us a fucking fortune to buy him out of that contract.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to run for 10 months pretty much with the handcuffs off. You know, he's going to be able to say whatever he wants, isn't he? Because what can they do? They can't get rid of him blatantly.
If he goes too far, I made a prediction the other day. I think that sometime in around Christmas, he will be done on the show and they will have a replacement in for the last 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's possible, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
But also there is a rumor that Colbert might run in 2029.
Run for what?
He's been interviewed twice for this, right?
Run for
and his
what?
answer to the question, would you ever run to be president?
President of what?
The United States of America.
Sorry, y'all. I need resumes from now on. No, no DEI
I kind of
white.
agree with Mikey.
No DE white guys up in here. Just because they're popular and white, they get to be a fucking president. See how it went the last 2 times. Fuck that.
This is what I said this morning, because if you look at the parallel I like in this is that the Zelensky story is I think he's great if you agree with Zelensky as a president and what he's doing, in that he was a satirical comedian and he was massively popular in Ukraine and Russia. He was, regarded as one of the most popular comedians in Russia because he's a Russian speaker. And then he makes a film about a teacher that makes a speech and it goes on social media and he ends up becoming the president. And then he does become the president as a result and takes his entire writing team into staff and then fights a war with Putin. So there's an argument to say, well, Colbert could do that, or Jon Stewart. Colbert, Jon Stewart.
Well, I was just going to say, what if it's a Stewart Colbert ticket?
If that's the,
a couple of white guys, Mikey. Why would you not want a couple of white guys? Right?
If that's the game we're playing, give me Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye.
There you go.
Okay.
I like that game.
If we're gonna play fucking celebrities, I'd rather have somebody who can, even if they don't understand a problem, will spend a night reading the fucking necessary material
about it
to make an informed decision by the morning. I would rather have a logical, critical thinking celebrity if I'm going to have one.
Peer-reviewed policies, trials, and research to see whether things work.
We'd be voting every 16 hours. Like, damn, Neil, shit, man. Come on, y'all. We got to go to City Hall. He wants us to vote again. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. If we were going to start a party from scratch that could take a position in American politics, in particular, like Corbyn is doing over here, what would the shape of that party be? Is there any way to break the two-party system in America with a third party coming through the middle?
We have third parties. It's just we have third parties. It's just the money in politics is so stacked towards those two sides. That's why there's a duopoly, because people can run by themselves. They can run independent for president, but then they get completely outfunded. No, like the TV stations and all that shit will say, okay, advertising for your political campaign, $300,000 a hit. Well, that's what everybody else is paying. And then, that's the business you end up in trying to run independent. So I think off rip, all elections are federally funded.
I mean, you got to get somebody elected that's going to pass that law.
Well, we're making our own party, right?
Yeah, okay. I mean, in the chat, we've got suggestions that Kanye West and Cory Booker should run together. What do you think?
No.
Kanye West?
What the fuck?
Stewart and Colbert are too old to be candidates in the USA. Oh, not old enough. Super Tiny 808 says they're not old enough.
Yeah, they're not 80. So Chuck Grassley and Mitch McConnell would be next in line.
Colbert's mid-60s, and Stewart's a year or two older, isn't he?
Stewart?
So I think they're old enough.
I think Stewart's late 60s.
Yeah. Colbert's early to mid-60s, and yeah.
I mean, speaking of age, Vendetta is suggesting Hulk Hogan's rancid racist corpse for president.
No.
Ew.
No.
I wouldn't even
put that. Wayne's not in the room.
I wouldn't even put that in the ocean. I'd put it in a volcano or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, at least 2 to 3% of the American population would vote for that. But
don't you think it's a shame? I don't know what your history is on this, but my kids used to be massively into WWE. Yeah. And Hulk Hogan was an actual, he's a cartoonish character.
When I was a kid,
he was like
he was a hero.
I grew up with him. He was the real American. He was the take your vitamins, go to school. He was
say your prayers,
all this shit. He was hometown America. They built him up. He made the WWE what they are today. Like without him, they would not be what they are.
Disagree.
So and that is a multi-billion-pound corporation. He was a huge influence on American culture, American children in the 80s. So that's why it was so disappointing when he started flying out the N-word. That's why it was so disappointing when he was saying homophobic shit. and you found out about the unions, and you found out about all this other stuff, and it was just like, oh, so he wasn't
the union,
the all-American awesome guy.
The union thing, Scott, do you want to tell people what that is? Because a lot of people have no idea what you're just talking about.
Well, the union thing, apparently, a lot of the wrestlers. This is just basically watching the Vince McMahon documentary.
Jesse Ventura tried to get a wrestler.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura wanted to start a union for the wrestlers because what if they get injured? Should they get sick pay? Should they get hospital treatment? Paid by the company and all this sort of stuff that they could try to bargain for or barter for, whatever it is, through a union.
Collective
Hulk
bargain.
Hogan grasped them right up, went straight to Vince McMahon and said, they're trying to start a union. And he shut it down.
Yep.
He is a scab. And he put all these wrestlers who were, who wanted sort of kind of employment rights, you know what I mean?
How dare they?
He fucked him.
Yep.
And didn't he shut down Gawk as well? Was it Gawk Media, the online network that he sued into oblivion over a sex tape?
He wasn't too happy about free press in any way, shape, or form. Because was the sex tape him cheating on his wife?
Yeah, I think
Probably.
so. I think there was. They got hold of a sex tape, and it was worth a fortune until it
ruined his life.
Look at how dumb
he also ruined his life when he started dropping the N-word. which he used because his daughter started going out with a
Basketball
black guy. Is
player.
that right? Or am I getting it mixed up with Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Both of them did it.
Oh, right. Okay.
They look the same and they act the same.
They have to say.
Dog
So
is just
They're
Hawaiian.
cousins.
Dog is just Hawaiian Hulk.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
Can I
Yeah, barely.
Can I just say that
it's his
Alan-
wife that died, isn't it? Yeah,
I
sorry.
think so.
So-
Alan Weber in the chat says that as a mark of respect for his death, we should all hold a minute's silence and quietly remember his sex tape.
No.
Trump failed,
No,
haha,
good.
in the chat says.
I never saw it. No, thank you.
Trump failed,
So-
haha, says, as a union carpenter, I'm glad I'm not the only one who still uses the term scab or rat. Yep, him a scab.
It's a very
Scab,
very
yep.
old school term. Yeah,
The-
scab.
The
But
unions
it's
out.
true.
the-
That's what I call gay conservatives.
The unions out
Scabs.
here
Scabs.
will inflate a giant 20-foot like fan powered rat balloon in front of businesses that they're striking outside of it. So you'll just be like, do let me go over here to go get some taco from. Oh, you done pissed them off. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Well, he was
Yeah.
a rat. He ratted them out, and so yeah, and they said it was the homophobia and the racism, and that's why his last WWE appearance was a disgrace, and he was booed out of the arena.
it's
I
the-
would argue Stone
you
Cold's
know, that's
better impact on WWE than Hulk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that at all because
No, I wouldn't either
we're still
Stone-
talking about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, because he's a
Hogan was
racist.
around for 15 years before you even heard of Stone Cold.
Yeah,
And that's the WWE was huge. And
Well,
yeah,
the
Stone Cold
WWF.
came in.
The only
yeah.
the only reason Hulk was good was because everybody hated Macho Man. He was the old like Macho Man
No.
is the
No.
real
Sorry,
No.
Macho Man was
hero.
not really a
He's-
heel.
He was the heel,
No.
and then you got Hulk
He
over
wasn't.
here playing the
He
face.
wasn't really a heel.
No,
Macho
If
Man
you
was
look at the
better in
80s,
every way.
if you
If you look at the
you're
80s,
you're talking later wrestling, Mikey. You
Yeah.
don't remember the early 80s wrestling.
You young
the Roddy-
whippersnappers.
with the
what
Roddy
do you
Piper-
know about
Yeah.
wrestling?
Well,
Roddy
Roddy-
Piper. is
Roddy
big
Piper
Boston
should-
I'm just
is the
gonna-
bad guy.
For the
Right?
for the elderly English audience, this is we're comparing the equivalent of Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy here.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers those on ITV.
Where's the Iron
But
Sheik?
Iron Sheik.
Iron
yes.
Sheik was a
He
heel.
was a scab. He was a heel.
yeah,
They
but
tried to make Andre a heel, and they just failed.
it
Because
failed. It
he's
was
so
rubbish.
nice. He's so cool.
So-
Yeah, no, everyone loved him. It didn't matter
Yeah.
he was a heel. Everyone still loved him.
It's like,
'cause he
God,
was
he's
the Andre the
enormous.
Giant. Because he
How
was Andre
tall?
the
How
Giant.
tall was he?
And it
like
was the same.
7'5"?
No, it was exactly the same with Macho Man Randy Savage because everyone loved the whole
Yeah.
Elizabeth and him storyline. So he
Yes.
could
Miss
never
Elizabeth.
really. No, but he could never really be a heel because of it. Because he was in love. Do you know what I mean? He's not.
He's
Heels
too
don't
likable.
love.
He's
You
too
know,
likable.
Later
man
on
didn't
in
have
his
a
career,
girlfriend that he loved.
Yeah.
You know, no.
The Ultimate Warrior, another one that they tried to turn into a heel, and he just
It was
couldn't.
rubbish.
They,
We liked
they
him.
loved him.
We liked
Yeah,
him.
right?
He was
Was it-
crazy.
So
But
Were there
this
any-
is- But this is what
Were
happened.
there any Canadian wrestlers, Ollie, in WWE?
What?
Leaping Lonnie Poffo was Canadian.
Okay.
The Hart
Right?
brothers,
I think
the Hart family.
the Hart brothers.
No, they were
Right, the
they
whole
were
Hart family?
British, weren't they?
no.
No.
Oh
They're all from
no,
Calgary.
Bret Hart. Yeah, no,
Alberta.
yeah, he was Canadian.
Calgary. I think you guys were saying Randy Savage.
Keeping our elbows up, bud.
What?
Yeah.
I think he's Canadian. I'm not sure, but
I
think
Ooh, I'm
must
gonna Google
look-
that shit.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to Google this.
so.
Oh yeah, we're in. Don't
You're-
worry about that.
Ryan
Randy
Reynolds, you're
Macho
getting
Man
moved out of the list.
Savage.
I'm not
All the
positive.
best.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But something
He's
popped
from-
in my head.
he's-
He's Canadian.
Hey, Ali. Ali, he's from Ohio.
Scott, I could
Oh,
see you doing WWE, Scott.
Oh, that was my Macho Man. He was from Columbus, Ohio. That was my Macho Man Savage. You Hulk Hogan, yeah, he's gonna come and I'm gonna go into the ring with the beautiful Elizabeth. Yeah.
Is that Trump or who?
Well,
was-
you know,
Well,
these days, who knows? You know what I mean? Because if you watch the movie Idiocracy, they got a wrestler to play the president.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you think about it, that kind of is. I mean, Trump's a massive fan, isn't he, of the wrestling?
He was
And
part
he's
of it.
Yeah, and he's the
was part of
education
it.
secretary is the former
he was
chief
such a big
exec
fan.
of.
He was such a
So-
big fan. Who hit him? Someone hit him.
Oh. Does anybody here remember their very first experience with wrestling? Because I do. My
Well,
first experience with
actually
wrestling,
wrestling men, Ollie. Is this something you want to
No.
reveal?
No,
on a
no,
live
with
stream?
with the professional wrestling going
Yes,
to watch it.
I
be
do.
a
I
fan
do
type thing.
actually.
My first experience was in '77
Right.
with my grandmother taking me to a live local small town event.
That's fun.
Right.
Wow.
I got to see Leo Burke. I got to see Killer Carl Krupp. Right, a couple of really old wrestlers. The
Long dead
Cuban
wrestlers.
Assassin, the Cuban Assassin, right? So yeah, no, there was a couple of wrestlers, but it was kind of neat. So
No, for me it was summer at my uncle's house. We were shipped off to our uncle's one summer because my mom had enough. She wanted some time alone, and we spent a lot of time hanging out with it was kind of like a second cousin, because he was cousin by marriage, and he introduced us to us, so we just got addicted to it, watching it there, and then that was it. We had to have the wrestling ring, we had to have the toys, we had to have the fake belt, we had to have I had the WWE album on vinyl. I had, with I'm a Real American and the other shit songs they did. So yeah, I was.
Scott, can I on this subject? Lee Korn has given us £2 to ask, what would Scott's WWE name be?
Well, it can't be Scotty Too Hottie because that was already a wrestling name.
yep,
That
you
was
can
a
take
nickname I
that.
got called at work for fucking years. Even though I was like, there's a wrestler called that. I'm not a wrestler. I don't know.
Let's get some suggestions in the
Scott
chat.
Bot.
I think
That could be short for bottom, but I'm not a bottom either, so I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, let's get some suggestions in the chat. I think Mikey,
I'm
if
sure
you're
it'll be something really gay, Scott the Cock or some shit like that.
I mean, that's you're being a little bit homophobic there, but the
Yeah, easy, Scott. I have gay friends. Don't
come
talk
on.
like that.
Excuse me. Sorry. I'm sorry. Mikey, can you not say the N-word anymore, okay? Because, that's racist.
I seldom do in mixed company.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
I have to.
In all seriousness, I didn't say I was like Scott the F-bomb, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was like, all right, Scott, all right. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Scott,
We're going to take a quick commercial break and love on Scott for a minute here. Scott, what is going on? What is happening right now? Get it together. What are you doing?
Tuning in right now. So yeah, no, I have no idea what wrestling they would have been.
Bruno just suggested the London Yanker.
Oh, I love it.
I am in
the back
Top
alley.
hat, pair of rubber gloves.
I come down the runway. It's the ring. It gives a little bit of the bushwhacker realness, but
Perfect.
gayer.
It's perfect.
And yeah, I'm in.
I got it. And I got the
Where'd you
gimmick. I got the gimmick too, because this is the thing. Everyone's like throwing out names.
You gotta have a gimmick, right?
have
The Yanker, yeah.
The Milkman. And you're gonna
it's
come
gonna be
out in
Wayne.
bib, and you're gonna come out in bib overalls. And then that's your special move: is you bend them over your knee and you pull a
And
bucket
yeah,
out
just
from
start
under
coming
stage.
From behind. You got give him a reach around. He's going for the reach around.
Oh dear God, that man's got a family. He's been milked dry.
We cut to commercials.
He's milking the essence out of that man.
I had a friend we called the milkmaid because, That's what he did on Friday.
And that
night.
would be your person that followed the Milk Maiden, and she would come behind you.
The Milk Maiden.
Yeah, and she would come,
be a real flamboyant queen.
You would bring a cow to the stage. That was you'd bring a literal cow on the it comes and it stands on that, and then she hold the Milk Maiden watches the cow, and then you go up, milk the dude, and then you come on down after you win, and then you ride the cow out. No,
that is a milking, isn't it?
And then the whole crowd is just like, yeah.
Milk him, milk him.
Big sign saying milk man.
Everyone's got milk mustaches.
But you don't do this. You do the
That's
Trump
your
dance,
shirt.
right? You do the Trump dance. You do the Trump dance.
Your merch shirt is like a silhouette of your face, but it's just got a milk mustache.
Yeah. No, I got a little bit of milk dripping from the side of my lips.
Well, this
Mikey is disgusted. Mikey is disgusted.
It's degenerated very quickly.
No one talks to the milkman like that.
One angry pagan.
Why are you being homophobic, Mike? Go on.
I'm trying to deal with the super chats. I'm not trying to change the subject at all. One angry pagan has given us £2. I don't know what that's saying. CDN wrestler Canadian wrestler Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes,
and Owen too. The Hart brothers.
The Hart brothers. Yeah.
Owen died at a pay-per-view. That was super sad.
He did.
Absolutely tragic. Yeah.
What died on TV?
Yep.
Well,
in the ring.
Well, it was a pay-per-view, and yeah, they didn't air it because there was enough of a delay that they didn't show the accident, right? So he was doing a wire entrance, right? Sliding down a wire to the ring. Do you know what I mean?
Like rappelling down in a harness.
Rappelling. Yeah, and it broke and he fell, right? So
on the turnbuckle.
So there were some other suggestions in the chat. I think we should give him a little bit of credit for trying. Some like it's Scott. Scott or the Snotter. The
of course,
Sperminator.
Darren Destar is suggesting that Wayne will be horribly upset if you steal his wrestling name.
I have a bad feeling.
The Milkman,
Master of the Ring, the Milkman.
Yeah,
Wayne's,
you should come
Wayne's
on.
already got a name. It's the Wayne Maker.
He is
The
the
Wayne
Waymaker.
Oh
my God! Scott's slogan would be, "I love the taste of fresh milk in the morning."
See, I think we got something going here. I think this is a great new
guys,
WWE
the whole
character.
thing about me not being a wrestler. I know
no talent for wrestling.
But you know,
no, we've got 90% of this sorted out. You don't need to have a talent for wrestling. That's fine.
Yeah, you do. I know.
It's all PR.
I've met wrestlers. I have met actual wrestlers. It's a very athletic thing.
You can learn how to do that though.
You can learn how to do it. But it is
somebody in the chat is suggesting that you actually have a pantomime cow, and what we could have is two real wrestlers in the pantomime cow that do the fighting bit for you under your instructions.
It's all neck. Wrestling is all neck muscles.
It's sounding very Juggalo wrestling, actually, which I have actually been watching on YouTube. It is trashy as fuck, and
Juggalo wrestling.
Juggalo wrestling.
You could be a manager. Right, you could be a manager.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be the
Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Oh, Taker.
I have the ashes of Hulk Hogan in my head.
Mom, you hear that? He's got the ashes of Hulk Hogan in that thing.
Yeah, Hulk's dead. Hulk Hogan.
That's totally going to happen, isn't it? But this is where I was getting to with all of this is that it is a shame that, you know, when you're judged by your obituary at the end of your life, Hogan had a chance to actually be a bit of an American hero, didn't he? And he fucked that up completely in the last 20 years, basically.
Remember when he had that?
And then you look at
last 40 years.
Yeah, well, if you look at the other death this week of Ozzy Osbourne. And you think this guy, you know, biting bats' heads off, etc., doing evil devil music for all of his life, but he still dies a beloved character, a beloved human being.
Well, this is the thing as well,
basically.
though. I've had pushback because I've been very much saying that online this week. You know, this is a very beloved character, person, an innovator of a extremely successful subgenre of music. Um, but I've been come back with, he supported Israel, he tried to kill his wife. People
Okay.
actually attacked him for being a drug addict and an alcoholic, which I think it was pretty disgusting. That's a disease. That's not something, we should be looking down on someone for being, because those are diseases. Addiction is a horrible disease. And
Well, I also don't think I don't think we
he
looked. We did. I don't think we looked up to him for that either. I think it was just an
No,
acceptable
no
part
one
of who
looked
he
up to him
was.
because he bit a head off a bat on accident. No one
No.
looked up to him for that, he tried to kill his wife, and it's just like, okay, yeah, he did that in a drug and alcohol-induced psychosis. So okay, so we're not worried about his mental health now because he did something stupid. The whole, I mean, the reason that Sharon Osbourne has been vocal about the Palestine-Israel conflict is because she is part Jewish. And a lot of Jewish people in America have very much drunk the Kool-Aid of being pro-Israel. So I kind of feel like what's going to happen is not even just her, but a lot of celebrities, a lot of public figures who have been spoken out to be pro-Israel are going to have a nasty, nasty shock when the facts of what everybody else is seeing is brought to a larger light and shown a lot more. And they're going to be a bit like, well, shit, we fucked up.
It's interesting doing the papers this week and the morning show. The Daily Express had a whole front page about a starving kid in Gaza, which is, a very right-wing newspaper now leading with that, and they've been leading with it all week. And also there are, whatever we think, Starmer has come out today with probably the strongest condemnation of what's going on and demanding an immediate ceasefire and suggesting that we're going to recognize a Palestinian state this year, and so have France.
Right.
So it feels like there is a very slow and grinding momentum towards the.
All right, that's great. Can we announce not giving them any weapons?
Yeah, well, Angela Eagle didn't do herself proud this week by talking about how proud she was of.
How easy is that to say? Listen, we want a ceasefire. You don't get any more fucking weapons from us.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple.
Well, they're starving them to death, so they're not going to need them in a minute.
Well, they're still shooting them in lines for food. They're executing them from far away.
And using drones as well.
Yeah,
to do that.
It's pretty fucked up. And so, no more weapons. You don't get any money. You don't get any more weapons. This finishes now. Stop. And
I was reading this morning.
But then America will bankroll it, so it's fine.
Yeah, right? There are UN workers who are starving in Gaza because they can't get access to food either now, and journalists who are based there that are starving, which is, I think, why the stories are starting to resonate politically all of a sudden. That,
but because white people are suffering now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, before we get on that, I want to just quickly go back to Ozzy because that's a very serious. When we talk about Ozzy, I think Ozzy did try to atone for a lot of the bullshit that he did when he was younger. That last charity concert raised the most money for charity than any concert has ever done ever. I think it beat Live Aid and stuff like that.
And also, what a beautiful thing for him.
Inflation.
I imagine Sharon to be able to organise that. Somebody that's just gone through, a potentially deadly illness. The idea that a month before you pretty much knew your time was up, basically. It was going to be within a few months. He must have known.
He did.
I'm sure he did.
To be able to do that is quite a great thing. And the thing is, the guy's, it's not my music, but the guy is a bloody rock star. We can't judge him by the standards of politicians, and also never ever in his life did what, because I think the biggest problem for me is hypocrisy, isn't it? When
he was political. You listen to songs like War Pigs, and you listen to some of the early Black Sabbath songs, they're very political. His solo stuff. Miracle Man was about a corrupt evangelist.
But I think the point when comparing him and Hogan is that at no point was he a hypocrite about this stuff. In that he never
He was
came out and
honest
said,
about
"Hey,
it.
hey, kids,
No.
don't do drugs." He
Yeah.
never did that. Basically,
Yeah, he
Whereas
did it.
Hogan,
He tried it with his own kids. You know what I mean? He said it to his own kids, but he
Yeah.
never tried to run around and he did say, drugs have fucked up my life. It's not like he never admitted that.
No.
I think he was very honest. He was very one of everybody else, and I think that's why people loved him so much. He was, and especially the TV show, just showing him being a dad that made so many people relate to him. So, I don't think Ozzy Osbourne essentially was a bad human being.
Congratulations.
Whereas Hulk Hogan tried to play it pure, and then it was exposed that he was a bad human being. That's, I think, is the difference for me, anyway.
I actually I
people
bumped
will
into
disagree.
him. I bumped into him once in a Marks and
said.
Spencer's in Beaconsfield.
Of all the places in the world.
It was weird, really weird. But I've got two stories about Marks and Spencer's that work that way. One in Cambridge and one in Beaconsfield. But he was standing near the freezer section, and as I turned the corner, and he's dressed as Ozzy Osbourne. He goes out shopping to Marks and Spencer's exactly as he goes on stage.
Well, that's where he is.
Buckinghamshire. It's a little village in Buckinghamshire.
Yes,
But
they had the house there, didn't they?
That's
for
where
a
their
long
house
time?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's standing staring in this freezer. And I walked past him and I thought, that's Ozzy Osbourne, right? And then suddenly he just sort of comes alive and stands there and goes, Sharon! Basically. Sharon comes trotting up from the bread aisle and says, it's all right, Ozzy, I've got you, basically, and just walks him out the shop. And I thought, am I in an episode of
The Osbourne.
that was happening here, basically?
I think my story. I have an Ozzy story, and this is a really wonderful story. And I don't run around telling everyone a story. I did tell everybody in the group chat. Basically, I used to work in music industry for a really, really, really massive music promoter. Some would call evil now. But I was getting myself into doing actual gig production. And one of the gigs I worked on was a gig in 2013 for Black Sabbath at the O2 Arena. And I mean, I was so in there in that music. I've been working with this company since 2006. I was in the pocket. I was drinking the Kool-Aid of this company. I was in the music industry, and I was trying to get on and try to get ahead. And so anyway, I was working at this really big production. I watched the stage being built. I watched all this sort of stuff happening. But I never got to meet Ozzy Osbourne or Sharon Osbourne, even though they were both around. But I did have to run an errand at one point from the production office, which is always based backstage with the dressing rooms. So I had to go to front of house, and I had to walk past Ozzy Osbourne's dressing room, which at one point I heard Ozzy Osbourne doing vocal warm-ups, right? So that was my 13-year-old self flipped out,
Sure, yeah.
just hearing that. And then I passed the doorway to his dressing room, and Robert Plant was having a conversation with Brian May.
Ugh.
And I could not say anything, because I'm in the environment where I have to be a professional, and and this backstage area, that is their safe space. That is the space away from fans. That is the space that they should be like every other person.
A selfie-free
So I had to
slot.
just keep walking, and I had to keep walking, and I regretted it all my life since. And my 13-year-old self, I remember walking by, and I know I mouthed, "Oh my fucking God," because I'm in the vicinity of three of the biggest rock and roll legends in the world ever.
Yeah.
It will never get better than that. I didn't meet them, but I saw them.
But you did the right thing as well,
Because
because it could have been an awful experience if you'd walked in and said, "Hey, I'm a really massive fan," and they went, "Fuck
if
off."
I had done that, it would have been a
bloke.
terrible experience. No, they would have had to go with me for being unprofessional. But my boss or the guy I was working with at the time, they would have been off. They could have made a complaint to the promoter.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would have been a shit show.
Totally.
You wanna make an omelet? You got to break some eggs.
I don't know. I don't need a selfie that bad.
I
I
would
need
have
to
been
do my
like,
job, and that's what I did. I did my job, and I kept going, and
No, you did the right thing.
I
Man.
had
That's
I have a
exactly
great
the right
story to
thing.
tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that
you
was
did, yeah.
awesome. Like you don't see
go back in
people like
time
that every
and
day.
kiss him on the mouth. Then what? Then what story do you have to tell?
It's
So
just
this
like,
is
dude,
how I went to jail. You,
but it's weird.
And
You
you-
know, it makes sense. Of course, they're all fucking friends. They're
Yeah.
Ozzy's in London. Their friends are gonna go
Yeah.
see him. You know,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got something in common. That's the thing.
we
You know,
have.
it's something that most people don't have. The commonality of what it is to be a rock star.
to
you know?
be no
It's,
to be at that level of fame,
Yeah,
be that that level of rock and roll stardom. Yeah, of course. So
Of course, you could have Wayne's World them and just got down on your knees and said, "We're not worthy."
Yeah, you
We're
should have
not
did
worthy."
that.
thought
You should have
that
did
crossed
that.
my
Kept
You
head.
should
going,
have did
right?
that.
It literally was. I thought, can I wait for this? No, you can't. You can't do any of that shit.
Here's
have
what
to
you do.
keep
Here's what
walking.
you do. You walk up, gentlemen, and then they'll do this. Do one or two we're not worthies. I'm like, fix your shirt. That is all, and then just walk away.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I gotta go. Bye.
Okay. I just had to get that out of my system.
I had to do it. I had to do it. Oh my
It
god.
is
oh my God, oh my God.
obligatory. If you were me, you'd be doing the same shit. So whatever.
Well,
You
this is
guys
the
had
thing,
a
this
person
is-
that you liked, and you would have been doing what I'm doing right now. So don't
Do
be
you know
mad
what,
at me. Just
A
understand.
video has been going around on the socials. There's this beautiful video of Ozzy meeting Paul McCartney. Because Ozzy Osbourne always said that the Beatles was the reason he started doing music, right? Because he's that old. And you know, he
Am I that
he
old?
said his
Oh,
life. I think the way he described it was his life was black and white. When he heard the Beatles, it became color. So this is very influential to him. And there's this great video of him meeting Paul McCartney for the first time, and he reverts from star
to
rock
fan.
star to
Fan.
super fan,
Fan.
and it's
Yeah.
it's beautiful to watch. He's
Yeah.
like, it's been an ambition of mine to meet you all my life. You know, and I mean,
Yeah.
he's in a position
you
to
gotta
say
love
something
that.
like that, but you know,
There's
but-
a lot of love in the chat, but also a few people saying there's big issues going on, and maybe the media has spent too much time this week on Ozzy Osbourne. I don't agree
I don't
with
think
that.
so.
No, I think
I think it's quite
to
moved
be,
on.
to be honest with
actually.
you, it's been doing the show in the morning has been a real struggle for me because I've had to pay much more attention to the news than I'd like to. And this morning I was genuinely
Then maybe
looking
you
around
know.
for a story that was just a bit more cheerful because you're like, Jesus,
Ollie?
everything is so gloomy at the moment that
Ollie?
Are we aware that yet there's another war about to kick off? in
I was
the
about to say while
What?
we're talking about that, Thailand has attacked
Yeah.
Cambodia.
Thailand,
yeah.
Thailand and
Mhm.
Cambodia.
What?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so over war.
Thailand
Yeah.
activates martial law along border with Cambodia.
Not
When
only
Is
is
that
one
the
hour
most
ago.
recent news? I'm looking at 4 hours ago. So
Mine's
4
1
hours
hour.
ago, the Thailand Prime
Breaking
Minister
news.
was saying we're going to be probably going to war. That's what he was basically saying 4 hours ago.
There's breaking news in the chat as well. Apparently, the orange blancmange has landed in Scotland.
Yeah, I
So-
know he landed
Oh,
about
yeah.
an hour ago.
Oh, I saw a wicked Facebook picture. Oh, fuck. Something about a warning. It was a newspaper clip
Oh.
saying, warning, a convicted criminal from the U.S. has landed.
That was
Right?
the front page of the National, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah. I was
Yeah,
like, it
no,
made
it's
me
a
laugh.
Scottish
That was
newspaper.
this morning,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Yeah.
See,
Oh, fuck.
Ollie,
Be on
what
the
do
lookout
we
for
know about
pedophiles in their affiliates.
Yeah.
So-
What do we know about the Thailand attack on Cambodia? Is it Thailand
Yeah, I'm
attacked
trying to find
Cambodia?
it.
Is that the right way around?
well,
Or-
they've been doing little skirmishes over the border for the last day and a half, 2 days. I know there's at least 15 or 20 dead, and one of the ads I said there's like 130,000 people fleeing the border area right now.
Yeah.
wow.
Right?
14 hours
So-
ago, the Independent did a story on whether it was safe to travel to either country, and the Foreign Office issued updated advice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nope.
I think it's been coming for a couple of days.
So, but Mikey's reading something from an hour ago that there's been yet another attack.
No, it's saying that
So-
they're instituting martial law along the border.
Yeah. So
This is the kind of thing that's going to happen, isn't it? The
this is the destabilization effect of the U.S. going, I'm a turtle now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not in this. Yeah, yeah.
So-
Which frees up anybody that's got a border dispute basically to start.
Yep.
lobbing bombs because they're not afraid that America's going to step in and do anything about it anymore.
Yeah,
So,
America
Exactly.
doesn't care anymore.
no. I suppose in
Well,
The cat
I
is-
wouldn't
the
say
cat
it's
is
America
away.
doesn't care anymore. It's the people that got put in charge don't
No,
particularly
yeah, it's
care.
MAGA who doesn't care.
And
Sorry, yeah.
things
But,
could
you know,
change again in a couple of
unfortunately,
years.
They are a representation of their people.
I watched a TED talk by a Portuguese historian today who was talking about the resonance of what was happening before the Second World War, and the fact that and what we call the axis of evil, the Japan, Germany, Italy axis, was nowhere near as bonded and strong in terms of trade and support as the axis of Russia, Iran, China, and to an extent even India. And what he was saying is that, you know, once the bad guys alliance is becoming stronger, and the alliance that's there to defend against that becomes weaker, it's inevitable that there is going to be a global set of wars that take place that are supported by the stronger, he calls them the axis of dictators now. You know, arguably, which side is Trump on when there's an axis of dictators and a
he does not know that this is happening. He's so dumb. Like as much malaise or malice that people think that he has for a lot of these things, he is just very dumb. He is very stupid. Like he doesn't he has not kept up with politics. But he ran for president anyway. He's sad. They don't know shit either. They're all stupid.
Yeah.
Dumb as shit. Or racist.
They're all that ignorant.
Because you can't actively pick this many wrong options while knowing the facts. Like, you know, like he's worse than random.
Yeah. Well, it's like the bunker busting bombs on Iran. You know, he literally only backed military action because he thought it could be over in a couple of hours and he'd get a headline the next day. And it's not done the job it was expected to do.
The Peace Prize, though. This is all about the Peace Prize, right?
Yeah.
To the tunes of
that
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Under his leadership, there's going to be more conflicts at borders than we've seen in the last 50 years.
And also, like, by all these tariffs and all this economic stress that we're doing to these developing countries, that is not good for them. That breeds all of this shit. That makes people go after people who are weaker than they would have normally been. Yeah. Because his
Thailand and Cambodia are two of the ones that are on the 50% tariffs.
You know what I mean? And that's fucked up because, like, the only thing we really get from there is like textiles. They do textiles and stuff for us, like clothes sewing. So how the hell are they an economy based on that? How are they supposed to, you know what I mean, compete? And we can buy their jets. Like what the fuck? The jets that they're producing.
Yeah. We're having to buy yours. So which I just fundamentally disagree that we should be spending any money with your country at the moment on that kind of thing.
Yep.
That's why I think Europe should have taken Canada's approach. Canada said, "Fuck you back." And that's what needed to be said. And if everybody would have did the same thing Canada did, Trump would have had to start whistling a different tune.
Well, this weekend is. I think at the time I kind of felt that Starmer played pretty much the only card he'd got in soft power to invite Trump over here for a state visit.
Oh yeah, done that.
And now he's here. I'm thinking that was a big fuck up, wasn't it? That was a dumb idea, you know, because we're going to look like the suck ups in the world, and
we are now.
You know, it's not the right place to be.
They're going to
It's
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then he'll be in Windsor Castle prancing around with the king, inspecting soldiers and.
Oh, really? He's getting to go there too.
Yep.
Oh, he's been offered a state visit again.
Fuck.
That was the card. That's the card. That's what we're talking about.
Charles,
the state. That's what we were talking about from before. Yeah, they should have taken it away from him and said, "Sorry, you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
You don't respect your people. So sorry."
Oh, well, that's what everybody in the country wants them to do, but Starmer's not going to do that.
Well, and the problem, you're going to get. I mean, it might do the job with Trump for a few days, mightn't it? Being treated like he's a king himself. But what do we do as of Tuesday when Trump goes home and we've got no soft power to play on him again?
Yeah.
It's just going to. If Starmer says anything out of line this weekend, then we're just going to get the tariffs back on Tuesday, aren't we? So,
Yeah.
Saying y'all should have got on the phone with Canada and
I agree.
big wigs from the EU and be like, yo, I know we're not, I know. So let's get them, right? And then just, that's what, shut him down. Like, he needs to be contained. And all of this, like, well, I'm going to look out for the best thing for us. It's like, you can't, that's not how beating up a bully works. You got to jump his ass.
There are people in the chat saying the state visit is in September. That'll be the one with the parades, the military shit that he wants to see. So I suppose we've got that bit of soft power. This visit, he's going for dinner.
You know the military parades you guys should be doing right now? You should be doing something similar to what France did and delivering some of your naval might to Canadian harbors and have it just sit.
Did France send you ships?
Yeah, we got one of their nuclear subs in Halifax.
See, this is the problem with the alliance. It is that we distrust the French much more than we do the Americans, even with Trump in charge, basically. So
you say that now.
I just think France is going. They've got an eye on Canada still. They're a bit bitter about the fact they only got half of it in language terms, basically. So maybe their ships are there to fight us.
Nope. It was directly in response to Trump saying what he was saying.
I genuinely think the UK, when the monarch of your country is the idiot Charles, then the fact that we are not standing shoulder to shoulder with you on that border is ridiculous. I think we're quietly doing it and diplomatically doing it, and Charles has laid hints, and Charles came and opened Parliament and all those little tiny things that they do to express their
pleasure.
To the people behind them, so that Trump doesn't notice. But I think Trump needs to fucking notice these things. I think you need to do things that Trump notices.
You need to be obvious about it.
What he's doing is wrong. It needs to be it needs to be stopped. And it is a little disconcerting as an American that the rest of the world is not on our side. You know what I mean? Like,
is it
the normal ones of us? Yeah, it feels like everyone's like because our Congress is like capitulating, the Supreme Court has capitulated, and it's just like but the world stage is like whatever, and it's like fuck. All right, guess it's just us then.
Yeah. Well, I found was it 2 weeks ago? All those African leaders when Trump fucked up completely by asking that guy where he got his education from. From Liberia.
Where did he learn such good English?
But I found aside from that clip, I found that a cringeworthy meeting. There was all these African leaders, one after the other, just saying, "Come and build a golf course in our country. We love you. Our capital city would be great for your hotels." Yeah. It's
hey, they're trying to get paid. I ain't mad.
I don't blame them, but the open level of corruption involved in it. There's one argument to say here that it's probably better that the corruption is completely transparent nowadays for Trump. It's pretty obvious the price of doing business with America these days is to build a hotel and a golf course, isn't it?
At least it's not going straight up cash straight to Russia. Dump it into Africa. Give them some money.
Yeah. So in the chat, Chris is saying Starmer is spineless. He will happily kneel and kiss the orange one's ring before listening to the mood of the British people, who he should be working for. Quite right.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think. I think it's going to be an interesting weekend of meetings with him. Starmer's going to be playing that kind of Blair role, isn't it, to George Bush, but on acid now, which is look, I'm trying to stop him having wars. I'm trying to stop him doing worse things.
Yeah, but he didn't do a very good job of that, though, did he?
No.
Yeah, exactly. We all got embroiled for 10 years in that process, didn't we, basically?
Yeah.
So, I think that's
up in the end,
that's the problem with cowtailing. Meanwhile, we're building a military ready to fight Russia, according to the head of our defense forces. That we're trying to buy ourselves 3 years so that we can build up our arms enough to of a European war. And there are rumors that in Estonia there are the little green men that appeared in 2014 in Ukraine.
What?
People in military uniforms with no badges have started to appear in Estonia, crossing the border from Russia. Is Russia about to invade a NATO member? Is the next question.
That would be bad. That would be bad.
Don't worry, America will do something in
Nothing.
they'll do something in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, we'll do something.
We got a beautiful
Well, what-
plan. Beautiful
You
plan.
know
I got the
exactly what's gonna
concepts.
happen in 2
I have the
weeks.
concepts of 2 weeks. Fucking-
Darren Distar has given us £20. Thank you very much, Darren. Graham will probably bollock me for not asking for your very kind donations, but Darian, thank you very much for the £20. Much appreciated. We're being invaded by MAGAs this year. Trump in July. Bloody lock up your settees. Vance is coming for his holiday. He's coming to the Cotswolds here in August, and then Trump comes back in September. Yeah, I mean, Darian, I figure it gives us 3 to 6 months for us to plan how we embarrass these people. I think Vance is the one that we should target in the Cotswolds. That's fairly easy.
Dress up like couches.
Yeah, a bunch of people dressed as settees running around villages in the
line
Cotswolds.
line the streets and couches while he's driving by.
And put lingerie
every
on the
couch.
cushions.
Yep.
Some moron will have a couch out there. There's no doubt about that.
There's
Inflatable
a
couch
campaign
balloons. Couch balloon.
that's now raised I think it's £30,000 or £40,000 to put posters up all over Scotland this weekend in bus stops and big poster sites, and it's just a picture of Trump with Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
Which no one is dropping. As much as they keep showing us the 5 or 6 people that have publicly said that we should just drop it. All the polling is saying like 4% of Republicans and 3% of Democrats are like, drop it. Everyone wants to. Now it's too big.
Yep.
Now
juicy.
actually we do need to know.
There was talk today of Trump possibly pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell.
yeah.
Because he didn't do anything.
I mean, that would be such a blatant attempt to shut her up. And
That's why he wants to do it, because he has nothing to do
even
with
the
it.
Americans who are dumb will read through that. Sorry, no offense.
Yeah.
No,
Well, her brother
why
Ian
would y'all
Maxwell
think he's
came out this
implicated?
week. Ian Maxwell came out this week and said he genuinely fears for her life at the moment.
You
That
what?
the game,
No,
Ian
what
Maxwell,
the
her brother,
they're doing. Do you understand that?
has come out and said publicly that he fears for her life because the game that's being played around her is dangerous and people have died as a result. And he's basically saying Epstein and and Prince Andrew's victim.
Yeah.
Arguably. Basically.
So
I'm not.
I saw. I think it was like, it must have been CBS or something like that. But a lady was being interviewed. She was one of Ghislaine's victims, and she's like, "How are they gonna tell me to my face that Epstein didn't do anything?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
they,
how are
they're
y'all
doing
gonna
it.
tell me? Like, where? Like, who did we? You know what I'm saying? Why is she in jail then? Who did we work for then? You
my
know?
ADHD is forcing me in a quite a serious moment to point out that Ghislaine is the cue for autographs for the milkman in our WWE scenario. But anyway, I need that little tank running across the screen.
A heater.
I'll give you something on our side.
All right.
No, you're right, because I want to get serious for a moment. I heard some of the testimony from people in Ghislaine's trial. And there are dozens and dozens of women, young women, who have testified that when they first started working for Epstein and Maxwell at the age of 14, and that not one single massage experience with him didn't involve sexual activity of some sort. And one of them said that I was laid off from my job working for Epstein, and they said, and why was that? And she said, because I got too old at 18. Now, if any of this sticks on Trump,
No, it's not gonna.
He had them recruiting girls out of Mar-a-Lago.
in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
Yo, let them testify. I don't care what Ghislaine has to say. Let her testify. Let her lie on the stand.
Yep.
Nobody gives a fuck. Get her. Just get her up there. Let everybody look at her. Make her a real person again. Because when they put her behind this like veneer and she's always in these pictures and she's wearing these like extravagant gowns and all this shit. I just watched some footage of her in prison. Yeah, show that bitch. Show that fucking absolute creature. The absolute creature that she is without all the fucking, upkeep on her plastic surgery so she looks like this fucking, this goddess that hovers on. No, show this nasty bitch and what she fucking did to those girls and for trapping them and putting them.
She's in an open prison in Florida, isn't she? Is that?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Or,
I mean,
I
she's
think
locked
in New
up
York,
all day, but
or was
is it
he in
New
New
York?
York? I don't know.
I thought
Let's see
she'd
where she's
been.
locked
He
up.
was in New York. I think she'd been moved to Florida. I thought that's what I read. I don't know. Somebody in the chat could correct us, or we could find that out. Storyteller, because Storyteller was taken 02. I do love that name.
She's in
It's such a good
Tallahassee.
name. Tallahassee, is it?
Yeah.
Ian Maxwell's charity sounds suspect. Yeah, I mean the Maxwell family are not to be trusted on any of this. As a rule, that family stole from their workers over the years, and if we were going to go down the conspiracy routes, then the fact that Robert Maxwell was buried with honors in Israel may or may not suggest that there was a connection to
But we don't even have to be
Israeli government.
But we don't even have to be conspiratorial. If we change all the names, and just put the families sitting right next to each other and how everybody's connected, much like my background, it is not even as convoluted as this. It is like a linear path of these people and the crimes that they have committed over the years, and how this motherfucker Trump is in the middle parallel line to all of that shit, and somehow he knows nothing about who he is. The creep, I don't know the creep. Her, I wish her well. I mean, I would say something nice about anybody, said the guy who has never said a fucking nice thing in his entire life to a single fucking person
Ever.
He has never said something nice about anybody. And this lady is fucking in jail, not accused. She is in jail for sex trafficking children. And he said, I wish her well, when he has never said it. Like, Rosie O'Donnell could have fucking pulled 17,000 orphans out of a burning building, and he'd still call her a fat pig. I wish Ghislaine well. Yo.
And the trouble is he's going to try and distract everybody, and even insulting his own base. It just suggests to me that there is something in there that I genuinely thought he was just one of the names on the list. He went to the parties. If there were pictures of him at a party where there were 15-year-old girls, that kind of evidence is out there already. That isn't going to be destructive towards him. I think he could survive that. So I think there's something more serious in this evidence.
They said his name.
I'm not sure we're going to see it.
They said his name was in there 14 times in his contact book under different pseudonyms.
But he said yesterday that Bill Clinton went to that island 28 times.
Yeah, lock his ass up too.
Yeah, which
y'all can sit next to each other.
That? I thought you didn't have a list. How'd you know that?
Yeah, and I agree. I think the power of this story is that anybody that leans completely the opposite way to the Republicans doesn't care about these elite. If Clinton is in that evidence, if Bill Gates is in that evidence, lock the fuckers up. Basically, they've committed crimes. They've taken part in a paedophile ring. We don't care.
We are not in your way.
Exactly. Yeah. Lock them all up. It's fine. So it's become an unpartisan story all of a sudden. In fact, most of the stuff I watch from the States, the left are kind of going, we don't even know why this is a story. It's been around for 10 years. We've known about this for a long time. Why has it suddenly become this big story? We can't really figure it out. So it's not the left pushing it. It's MAGA pushing it.
Well, and the left is, feeding their curiosity. He's like, remember that Epstein thing that you guys were promised? Isn't it strange how that? Oh my! Wow! All these details. Wow! The letter. I thought he didn't draw things. He says, and the thing is, like, he's being baited. Trump is being baited big time
by Murdoch.
He can't help himself. He can't help himself.
No.
He has to fucking put the claim down. He has to clear his name and appear to be this golden shiny god that descends from above. And this is a smudge, and he can't take it. He's so thin-skinned, he can't take it. And that's why this South Park thing is funny, because Epstein, Epstein's gonna be in bed with him next, right? Like there's no way that's not gonna get shoved into every episode. Like in the corner of the fucking episode, there's gonna be just like an Epstein head just sitting there the whole time. Like it's if you're gonna just threaten everybody to take it away. Okay, if you're gonna take my toys away, I'm gonna play with them one more time.
Yep.
I'm not. You can't fire me. I quit.
Person impersonator says, "Good point, Scott. How does he know how many times if there are no files? Was he there?
The files that don't exist anymore. How do you know it's 28 times? That's bullshit. Either it's complete bullshit and he made it up on the spot in front of a plane, in front of reporters, or he knows that for a fact because there's actually files that they will not release. Because he's on them too.
Well,
there's a number
of Trump's name in the flight logs.
Yeah, number of people in the chat suggesting that Diz, Trip, and Darian all suggesting that it could be about Melania, because she got an Einstein visa, didn't she? And she was trafficked from Slovenia to Paris and then to America, and then got an Einstein visa. And this was before Trump was president and had any political power. So.
Do you think that Melania Trump is possibly a victim of trafficking?
Well, apparently, the first time he slept with her was on Epstein's plane. So,
the old Lolita Express.
Yeah.
Unreal.
There are logs of Epstein flying in Trump's plane as well, basically. So I wonder if Trump's plane was used at any point.
That's why he's defunding the FAA. They keep all these flight logs. So annoying.
Vendetta says Ivanka was on the island. Maybe it's about her.
I'm pretty sure that he was on the flight logs.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. In the information that's been released, he's definitely on the flight.
So he's lying.
This is
no. Sorry, what he's saying is that was fake.
This is
what he's saying. To be fair and balanced, Trump's line on this is that he was best friends with him for 15 years until he found out he was a scumbag.
Yeah.
And he never said what he never said why they stopped being friends.
No.
Nobody said this today. Like I know that reason. Epstein's brother said today that Epstein broke their friendship off because Trump was too much of a crook.
Oh.
Well, there was apparently they both tried to buy a property in Florida.
Yeah.
And Trump screwed up the property deal basically for Epstein so that he could buy it, and that's what caused the rift. It's got nothing to do with
anything morally. Yeah.
And Lutnick is sitting over there cheesing and smiling and clapping like a seal the whole time.
He's in those things too.
He lived literally next door to Epstein. Yep. Says he doesn't know him, even though those people know their fucking neighbors. And he also just coincidentally bought one of Epstein's Manhattan apartments for $10. But he doesn't know him. Not really.
No, doesn't have a clue.
Not friends, not close associates. Just it was for $10 and then undisclosed whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, because that's what happens to me all the time when I buy $1 million places. I just buy it for $10 and then I just give them something unknown later, and then that's cool with the bank.
And I think this is part of what makes why this evidence does need to come out, because it's completely bad enough, and this should be the core of the story, that there were young vulnerable girls who were sexually abused and raped and victimized by these people, and that's your blackmail part of what Epstein did. But the other thing is the financial arrangements that he kept making. There's a lot of people that borrowed money from Epstein.
say,
and that was
death.
dirty money as well. You know,
Death.
Prince Andrew
Oh, that's
famously
good.
borrowed a lot of money from Epstein to pay off Fergie's bills, basically. That's how they got entrapped. And you can imagine Epstein's model was just, you know, I entrap them two ways. I get them on the finances, and then I bring them in on the girls, basically, so that they have to keep quiet about where the money's going. Yeah. So I think there's more and more scandals.
He doesn't even have to be. He doesn't even have to be like the ultimate villain at the end. You know what I'm saying? He could just be the facilitator. Because it is unbelievable that none of this has been able to get out at all. From administration to administration to administration.
Yeah.
So I think.
I mean, again, it does raise a question as to why didn't Biden release the files? You know, if the Democrats played the same game as Trump, they should have put the files.
If he's a Mossad agent, and Joe Biden said he would invent it in Israel if there wasn't one. Well, there you go. Yep. He's doing his duty. Let the honeypot.
This is the thing. It's one of the things I love about conspiracy theorists, that they do all this research. They build these big files on their stories. You know, the wall, like your backdrop, Mikey, and they're all online, coming up with these amazing, you know, ridiculous conspiracy theories. And you think, no, there are some fucking conspiracies going on. There's some pretty obvious, blatant ones going on by corporations and rich people and the elite, and they're doing these things. They're definitely doing all the stuff you're kind of suggesting, but you've decided to go down the fact that they're sucking the blood of babies to keep themselves young.
Right. There's like actual believable conspiracy theories that could have some shred of actual truth to them, but yeah. There's Hillary Clinton is abusing children in a pizza shop.
Yeah, exactly. You can, okay, I get it that you can understand that one, but you can't understand the international complexities of finance, basically, that's going on. I get it, but there's some pretty awful fucking things going on, and they're genuine conspiracies. There's a bunch of rich people sitting in a clubhouse smoking cigars, making a plan. That's what's happening, you know.
On the back of a napkin right now, they're deciding our fate.
Yeah. It's you know, fairly certain that.
But there's one thing they didn't plan for.
Is Prince Andrew playing golf with Trump as we speak? It could be possible. That would be the shot to get this weekend.
It's really dark and late.
Well, that's when you do it. If you're a couple of paedophiles on the prowl in Scotland, wouldn't you be doing it in the dark, pretending to play golf by torchlight? That's what you'd be doing.
So what's going to happen out on the golf course when Trump's caddy kicks the ball into the fairway for him and stuff like that?
I found your ball.
Happens, that is going to be documented.
I found your ball. It's right here on the green,
Mikey,
sir.
Tell us about the live fact checking that Trump got from the head of the Fed.
It's so funny.
Oh, with Jerome Powell. I only saw like part of the clip of that.
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, hit us, guy.
So basically he had said he went into this whole spiel about how the Fed are building these buildings and they don't need to be. They've spent 2.9 million or billion or something like that, and the head of the Fed was sitting next to him going, no, we haven't. And he said it. He said, no, that's not right. And Trump goes, nope, that's I've just been told. I have just been told. Here is the receipt, and this is this is it. Just been told that, so you aren't gonna know, are you? So yeah.
And then Jerome looks at the paper, reads it. Yeah, actually
reads it, and goes, yeah. Oh, so you're talking about a building, the other, whatever the name of the building was. You're talking about that building, right? He goes, yep, exactly. That was finished 5 years ago and was part of a completely different project. No, that's not the case at all.
It's all wrapped into
no, it is definitely not part of this project.
And then he says, maybe we can take the hats off now. Like typical Trump distraction to go, we're wearing hard hats in a building site. Let's just
keys. Yeah. Keys.
You know, it's so obvious. This just is all kind of an intimidation to get.
But this is Jerome Powell is the guy that last week Trump said, I have no idea what anyone was thinking to appoint this guy.
He appointed him.
and it was him that did it.
He fucking appointed him.
Nothing, and I mean nothing.
I imagine
gets
that's
past
why
old Trumpy. He is.
I
sharp
imagine that's
as-
why he fact checked him live today, because he's sitting there going, "Well,
He just
you
thought,
know,
oh, come on.
unbelievable."
He's as
You
sharp
guys,
as a,
you gotta be kidding. You know.
sharp as a
But
crayon.
yeah, that's basically what happened. He was, I mean, I'm surprised. Trump looked stupid. And the way he was sitting there going, nope, yep, just got told just now. And it's like, you sound so crooked right now. And it was like there were fucking idiots online going, yep, Trump got him. And I was like,
Yeah, of course.
did we watch the same video?
No.
you didn't see for yourself that Trump looked like a fool, like in front of the whole world's press.
Well, talking of making MAGAs look like fools, did anyone see the Jubilee show on YouTube? Mikey, you mentioned it earlier. I think
Yes. I won't watch the whole thing though, because I'm not giving it one of my.
I watched it also. It's 20 MAGAs in a
I can't watch
circle
it all, 'cause it'll just
around
infuriate the
Mehdi
shit out of me.
Hassan. Well,
It's-
Mehdi Hassan
yeah.
did really well. I
They don't,
thought.
yeah, because
There's
it
a bit
wasn't
of
difficult though.
there's a bit
They
of
were fucking idiots.
there's a bit of Schadenfreude in there, so you do get to see Mehdi completely pummel these people. Like they are completely outgunned, outmatched, outskilled, outread.
Out-researched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
They're idiots.
they have no chance, and it is very
You-
revealing about the kind of. You can kind of tell what's been pumped into their little algorithms because they can't really get off script. There's no real there. They just know how
They-
to say the
yeah.
offensive
They don't know how to
things,
do it,
but they
yeah.
don't actually know
Yeah.
the
We have to
history
come back
of
to
what
what
they
I'm
say.
saying. And they kept saying that. We have to come back to what I'm saying. Let's come back to what I'm saying right now. No, but what I'm saying is this.
Right,
It's like,
right.
you have your talking point. It's all you've got. You can't move from that. And if Mahdi moves you from it, you're lost.
They get in the deep water and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to think for
Well, almost
themselves.
They end up exposing themselves completely.
Yeah.
As
And
racists every time. Yeah.
Connor,
Oh yeah,
Connor, you know,
Proud fascist Connor.
the proud fascist.
I
And
like
it's like,
authoritarianism.
yeah, I want an autocracy.
Yeah, okay.
But then also it was like Mehdi
Blasphemy
says,
should
okay,
be
well,
part of freedom of speech.
how do you get to how do we decide who's going to be the autocrat?
we
in
would
charge?
vote
And
for
well,
it.
we have an
We would vote
election,
for them?
and then we never have another one after that.
Yeah, and then we're just never going to do it again. Oh my God, you're stupid. You know,
he learned voting from Squid Game.
Yeah, right. You're an absolute fucking idiot. You know,
I thought
We'll
that,
just do this.
and then people clapping him like he did.
I mean, there was
something.
one or two when you watch the whole show. There was one or two of them that actually.
They're like, what the fuck?
Well, they did make some reasoned arguments, even though they were based on their own belief that was, conventionally wrong, and Mehdi proved them wrong. But the thing that really got me, because I've seen an interview with Mehdi before about how he prepares for shows and the amount of research that he does for any given interview that he's going to do. And you got the distinct feeling one of his propositions that they had to challenge was that Trump is a supporter of criminals and criminality. That was Mehdi's statement. And they had to come in and defend Trump against
Trump
that.
is pro-crime.
And you got the distinct feeling that Mehdi Hassan had learnt the names of every single January the 6th conviction and was going to go through all of their cases basically, because he's going, what about this guy? What about this guy who beat a cop to death? What about this guy who did this? And it was just, they were just bombarded by facts, and half of them they go, I didn't know that, I don't believe that's true, I don't believe that happened, basically.
And this is an important lesson in framing. So the thing, the only thing that's good about Mehdi going on there, opposed to somebody else, is he is a proper fucking journalist, and he framed all of his statements are framed in a way to not be able to be twisted. They're well thought out so that it's a strong premise for him to defend. When people just walk around and they kind of, well, I kind of think this and kind of think like, yeah, and this is why you have to, now you're in flat earth territory. You're going to be explaining tides for 45 minutes because you didn't tighten up your premise. He didn't have that problem.
Well, what do we think of the format in general? A lot of people are
I think
slugging
it's
it
a shit
off.
format. I hate
I think
it.
for anyone in the chat or the audience that doesn't know, it's a circle of 20 people normally who represent one view, and then one person in the middle who represents the opposite view. there's a kind of ridiculous musical chairs bit to it, which I find really ridiculous
I find
because
that childish.
yeah, I think it also suppresses female voices to a great extent. I think the men all go and fight for the
Flash them
chair,
out.
and the women tend to stay back.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get the chair, there's 20 minutes to discuss any individual subject, and the audience, the circle of fiends in this case, have a red flag. But if they hold up the red flag, enough of them hold up the red flag, the person arguing with Mehdi is voted off. And it was this sort of complete crossfire because as soon as somebody sat down and started making their point about, just how marvelous Trump is, or how America's a Christian state, or how
Jewish space
you know,
lasers.
well, white guys sitting there saying, "I'm a Native American," and Mehdi just going, "Well, you're not. You're just
Literally
not."
not. Well, what about the white people that came here in 1500? It's like, well, what about the ones before that?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think you know what
Unbelievable.
indigenous means. He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, okay, what does
Yeah.
it mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
where we're at.
Idiots.
Like,
Idiots. It's just pure idiots. And it platforms it, and it gives people ideas to go and look up, especially young and impressionable people. So in a way, I don't know.
you
I
can't
feel
hide it
like
from them.
I feel like it was a platform for extremist ideas. Because
But I've seen
literally-
it. I've seen it the other way around, where they stick a MAGA guy in the middle, and there are 20 Democrats around them.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was an awful.
He got
'cause
shredded.
Peterson-
Yeah, he did.
And
He
it-
was,
but he
was
just-
terrible. Yeah.
all he could do was argue about the definition of any word that was said to him.
You live
basically.
for it,
What do you
Yeah.
mean
and
genocide?
you die for
Yeah.
it.
What do you mean
Yeah.
by genocide?
You live for
How
it?
many people is a
die for it.
genocide? Well, maybe we don't have the same definition of genocide.
But that's his snake oil salesman shit that he sells. Like that's his business model. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He just gets real
Confound everything.
Yeah, he gets real slippery and wants to use unique one-time use only definitions for things that suit his argument here. But then you remind him about it later, and then he says, "Well, that like the kid jumped his shit immediately." He's like, "I thought you said you were a Christian." Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I never actually said those words. It's like, then what the fuck are we talking about? The whole thing of the show was you're a Christian.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
don't like you right now. Like he got all
Yeah.
up in his feelings.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
I think Mehdi
think-
did a very good job up against what he was up against. But the disturbing thing for me was that there were, there must have been an awful lot more people to pick from to get to 20 representatives who shared this fascist, authoritarian, racist.
No, I think they picked
view,
out
and
the
they were
most
all in their
extreme.
20s. They were
They
all in their
picked out
20s.
the most extreme. I think some of those were actual influencers who do
Yeah.
shows on YouTube, like this one, that have
trying to say?
actual followings and audiences.
Are you trying to say that I should have been on that panel?
I was about to say what you're trying to
No,
say,
why
Scott.
would
You're
you say
saying
that?
I don't know.
you should have been over
That
there.
how?
I
No,
like
know.
Full of
Like-
shit. Fuck off.
like at some level, I think well, I'll say it this way. I'm not in the business model. Like the bin is not in the business of having debates and having
Yeah, no, we don't.
the exchanging of ideas between interlocutors. That's not what we do over here. This is our fucking network, and we say what we want to do. We cover the shit we want to cover, and our friends like us, and they come with us on the journey. We don't.
Yep.
We're not trying to exchange ideas. That being said, if you're gonna have a shit show, I think it is the two-edged sword, because yeah, you are like, more people will see those ideas, but then there's the comment section, and people will see that all of their ideas are getting completely shit on. Under normal circumstances, I think most people would be like, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong about this. They just double down on that shit now. Like, they like being
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
They think being wrong is like cool.
It's the trolling.
It's a badge of honor.
It's all.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all.
it's a
Everything's
trolling.
everything's a troll now.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, and you could see that
Yeah.
because
And-
there were 7 flavors of racism going on amongst that group towards Mehdi, because I don't think they couldn't really comprehend that he spoke with an English accent, that he was brown, that his parents came from India to England, that he came from England to here, and he was a citizen and had taken the test.
Yeah,
You know, I think
blew
one of
their
the
little minds, didn't it? Yeah, they couldn't
one of
work
the things
out.
that I
Didn't know
really
what to
loved
do.
was where he sat there in that group saying, I have a feeling that the majority of the people in this circle would fail that test, which it
Just
caused them all to be completely outraged at that point.
one
Sorry,
quick
Ollie.
thing about what Mikey said there. It's not about that we're not about the exchange of ideas on the bin.
Mhm.
It's just that this isn't the platform for it on the bin. We're
Right.
all about it in other platforms, right?
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
on the bin we do what we're doing, right? So
Yeah, it's your position.
that's-
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people, I mean, Luke Beasley tried earlier this year, he tried to get a MAGA influencer into his show once a week to have a debate. No.
I wonder why
Didn't
not.
work.
Yeah, but mainly
can't
because
find anybody to show up that actually has
Well,
something
No,
sensible.
But
they
I
had
think
a
that was-
girl. He had a girl
Yeah, they
that was
get-
a regular MAGA influencer.
MAGA
really?
mom.
Yeah, and it just I don't know, like they tried.
Well, her
to make-
husband kept getting involved and threatening Luke. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and it got really bad, and they
Okay.
and they tried to they probably spent more time talking about the fact that they had differences rather than what those differences were.
But
Yeah,
but
I
that's
know.
the difference between, and that's why Mehdi's episode was so good, is because he took all of that away from them. Like he
Yeah.
he stripped all of their bullshit away. Trump is pro crime. Now disprove, you know what I mean? Disprove me. Like push me off of this
Yeah.
ledge. Like if Steven Crowder actually knew how to read, like what his little thingies would be, his little loaded premises. But you can load a premise in a way that forces people to think, which is the actual way to like use the Socratic method, as opposed to just doing this constant Jordan Peterson. I'll just keep switching my definitions around, and that way you'll never catch me. Ha 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 ha.
Then I'm always the opposition. But that was the thing that I think came out of a lot of the people that were trying to debate Mehdi, was that, you know, they were saying, well, you don't understand America. And he's going, well, I'm an American citizen. You know, I live here, basically. So, and I'm a journalist and I report on America, and I have done for years. So I do understand America, I think.
And he's paid
And
more
they
in
said, no,
taxes
you
than they
don't
ever
understand the division. Yeah. And they said, you don't understand the division. It is a war between Democrats and Republicans. And I just found that, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? That's what we see. But it is just if a Democrat says it, it must be wrong. If a Republican
It's
says it, it
instantly
must be
wrong.
wrong. Yeah,
Well,
there is no
perfect
debate. There
example
is
of
no
that-
exchange of ideas at all in American
Perfect
politics.
example of that is Biden. What was it in 2023? Giving money to Texas to the floodplains,
Yeah.
saying, "Here, set up your early warning
Yeah,
system so
yeah.
people can be warned." And they said,
Absolutely.
"Oh, this money comes from criminal sources. We're not going to spend it on that. We'll spend it on something else, but
Yeah.
we're not going to spend it on that."
Yeah, because that's what he
Like,
wants.
what
us
the
to spend
fuck?
it on.
I mean, there's
was
a
literally
direct
the
there's a
most-
direct line to those girl
Well,
guides dying.
they didn't want the
Obviously.
people to know that Biden gave the money to save their lives.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
And the biggest problem, really,
And these
looking at
things come out
American
randomly.
politics from the outside, and I know you guys share this opinion to a great extent, is there's hardly a thin piece of paper to put between the two parties, really. So this, you know, it boils down to things like pro-choice, pro-life type debates and guns. That's about it, really. But in terms of economic policies, in terms of the, you know, anti-corruption policies, etc., there's not a lot of difference between the two parties. In this country, there'd be reform fighting the Tories.
They're on pretty close to the same page about guns too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like all of the opposition to those things that they have in common are squelched by the dirty money lobbyist backed people of either side. Like it took like Build Back Better never went through. Why not? What the fuck? Like this is that's a Biden failure. And when Cori Bush from St. Louis, my home girl, when she brought it up, when they're all sitting in the call and they're all trying to figure out what to do, and she's like, well, what about Build Back Better? And they're like, well, that's just not going to be part of it. She's like, well, I told my people what we were going to do this. And it just didn't happen. Y'all just figure it out. No infrastructure deals, no all that stuff. Like that money, like it is, everybody is fucking us. Like we're just getting fucked from every party at this point. And,
Yeah.
and then the parties are all being paid by the same people. As soon as people start to put together that it is these lobbyists and these people that are influencing the politicians and that they can actually control who gets elected. Like that's why Mom Donnie is so great. That's why this works. And unfortunately, because we're at this such late stage of capitalism, it's only after the waterfall, complete collapse of certain sectors and certain areas that people start to see this shit. I mean, I wish they would just read or watch a movie or something and figure this shit out.
Yeah. But it's also why
need a total reset.
Yeah,
the Democrat institution as such is opposed to Mandani and AOC to a great extent, basically, because they don't like the fact that they're funded by people rather than corporations. Nancy Pelosi,
because the answer is a tax
said
the
last
rich.
year. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi said we've got to get these evil corporations out of politics, and they said, "Well, what about the ones funding the Democrats?" And she said, "No, they're all right. They're the good guys." You kind of go, "Well,
yeah."
If I was on the Republican side of that argument, I'd sit there and go, "Well, they're either bad or they're not."
Well,
you know,
well, she's not one to talk. I mean, how much is she worth, and what is her occupation, and what has her occupation been for the last 30 years? How do you have
how
so
did
much?
she make her money?
How do you have so much goddamn money, lady?
Yeah.
So like, and that's especially for, I'll speak for most millennials. We don't fucking vibe with that shit. Like, you're a public servant. If you want 6 figures, cool. You got to fly back and forth all over the country. That's a pain in the dick. And you're representing people. You got to hold meetings. Fine, whatever. But we're not about to allow all these fucking politicians to be millionaires and hundreds of millionaires on our dime because you're insider trading, because you're sitting on all the committees and sending it out to your husband, Paul Pelosi, big stock
I'll be
trader.
right back.
You know, like, it's enough with the bullshit. Enough with the shenanigans. No one's
Don't
buying
believe the
it
lies.
anymore.
The Death Star is flat. I love that.
Yes.
That is very cool, Ollie.
He always puts that up when he goes.
I kind of love that. The in the chat, just to change the subject, Chris C said, "Did you know that rhubarb is not a fruit? It's a vegetable." I mean, I think that's quite profound, and I think thank you, Chris C, for bringing us the truth tonight.
What's the heaviest fruit?
Don't know.
Pumpkin.
You what?
Oh, it's not a joke. That wasn't a setup for a joke. It's just
No.
it's a fact.
Yeah, pumpkins.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Pumpkins are fruit. Seeds on the
because
inside.
they have seeds in them, right? And they have flesh.
Big old fruits.
We've
That used to be a very bad slang term at one point. What my mom used to call homosexuals. Oh yes, darling, he's a bit of a fruit.
really.
like,
Yes, my mom used the word fruit. Yeah.
it's so.
Where were
it's
you,
so-
Scott?
people are so
Where
cringe.
were you brought up in America? Whereabouts?
Mainly in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew. I was born in New York. And I lived in San Francisco for a little while when I was a kid. My mom always said though that we were walking through San Francisco, and we saw a guy in a habit, dressed as a nun, and
Like you do.
yeah, in San Francisco, riding a bicycle. I used to call her Sister Mary Boom Boom, apparently, and I said to my mom, "Mommy, why is that man wearing a dress?" And she went, "We're moving." I'm not telling a 4-year-old. I'm not explaining this to a 4-year-old. Not now. So yeah, had that had an effect on me? I don't know. But in all seriousness, we moved to Cleveland when I was about 6 years old. So and then
Right,
so
okay.
like that's 10 years there.
And tell me, I don't know.
Formative.
Like most Brits, I don't really. We always complain Americans don't know anything about geography. I don't know Cleveland, Ohio. What define it compared to San Francisco? Is it more
No,
of a?
it was a steel town.
In the Midwest.
Yeah, sort of on the edge of the Midwest, going east.
So like a northern town here, effectively, like a Sheffield or something like that.
Yes, but American.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know it sounds like a stupid
Sheffield
thing to say,
with
yeah, like,
better breakfasts or
yeah,
something like
no,
that.
it's
Yeah.
Biscuits.
it was a steel town when I was growing up in it. It had a company
It's with
called,
watered down beer, Mike.
Right.
It had a company called I can't remember the name of the company now. It was a steel company. Once that steel company left Cleveland, the city went into a serious decline. After this was after I left,
NAFTA.
and it became just I think the second poorest city in the country behind Detroit.
Really.
Yeah, so it had a real slump. And I think they've been trying to build it back, but I don't know what they got like as far as industry there now. I don't know what
Cleveland's
it is.
okay.
Huh?
Cleveland's okay. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not doing terrible, but
It was
a lot of
it,
they're in the
Go
same boat as St. Louis because St. Louis dried up too. Like St.
Right.
Louis was like I think some crazy stupid ass percentage of like all the bricks and all the houses in like the Midwest were like fired in like the brick ovens in St. Louis, and they did steel and shit like that. And then all
Right.
that's because the river
Moved.
was right there, so they could
that's
just
the same,
float.
but that was
Yeah.
the lake. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would just float everything on barges. So they had a booming industry, and then shit just changes, you know.
Yeah. Well,
and then
the steel-
cities get left
the-
behind.
Yeah, Cleveland was definitely one of those cities. So, but Cleveland was always a little bit of a joke in the 70s and the 80s. If I'm not mistaken, there was the fire on Lake Erie, which I think happened in the sort of late 70s, early 80s or something. We
got
moved
quiet.
there in.
Thank you.
Huh?
You got quiet again.
Yeah. We moved there in 83, I think it was. 83, and my mom left in 93.
It was a good year.
Mikey, you always been in Chicago? Is it?
No, I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a much superior city. The
Let's do
gateway to the west.
Let's do a geography explanation for us. St. Louis is further
Very-
south than Chicago?
Yeah.
It's
further
very
south.
Midwest.
Yep. It's almost
And there's
directly
a-
in the middle of a map.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And there's this, isn't there another city the other side of the river? Am I thinking of the same?
You're thinking of the in Iowa, like in Iowa and Illinois, they have the Quad Cities, and they have cities on both sides. I mean, we have
Right.
St. Louis. and
St.
there's-
Louis, where the arch is.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Gateway Arch is there.
I've seen it.
It's glorious.
It's one of the foundations of MAGA and to an extent reform in this country, I think, is these left behind towns and cities.
Yeah, the
This
people
is
are
what
pissed.
brought MAGA
The
into
people are
power.
pissed. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then when the Democrats have an opportunity to really affect change for those people, and then they kind of like pump fake and like they pretend to do shit, and they only give you like 5% of what they could have been doing. This is how we lose. They think the other guy's gonna do 6%. They're gonna take us back 50%. And we're gonna,
Yeah.
it just sets us back further and
And
further and further because they keep buying the fucking lie.
But it's also like regeneration of any city is complicated. If it was built on a steel industry and because the river was there, you can't turn it into an apple factory overnight and reskill everybody. But what Trump does and what resonates, I think, and what Farage does, because he follows the same line all the time, basically, is Trump announced a couple of weeks ago, I think, that we're going to bring back coal mining.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, what parent is sitting there going, I wish my kid could go and work down the pit? But then you think, well, there are places in Wales where I think there's a generation sitting around going, well, it was all right back in the day when we all had a job in the pit. And these kids now have got nothing to look
They're
forward
not
to.
going to go work in the
Those
pit, though.
people are not
Well-
alive. Those hypothetical parents do not exist. Those
Grandparents,
people,
maybe.
if their grandparents were in the mine, they have got the black lung and they are already gone. The life expectancy in like
yeah.
West Virginia and like
But
those
do-
rural
but do you think it
Appalachia is
resonates-
very low?
Sure, but do you think it resonates somehow with the family stories, traditions that you heard, basically? There are stories in my family, or there were stories in my first marriage family where they were from Yorkshire, and they had Sunday lunch stories about Grandad sitting there covered in coal eating his Sunday lunch after he got back from a shift. Basically, it was like this, and I think that's what Trump appeals to. I think that's what Farage
No, what
appeals
Trump,
to is this
what
this
Trump,
fake memory that we've all got about how great it all was back in
yes,
the day.
he plays on this idea of America that is bygone, that didn't really exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So he plays on a fantasy or romance, almost, as I would say, almost a televised version of America, Happy Days version of America.
Yeah.
That is kind of what he sells to the middle America who've fallen for that.
And he's
that's
part,
why people
he's part of that story. He was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous all the time with Robin Leach. You know, if these people are in their 50s and 60s, they remember watching that on the weekends and being so impressed with his millions of dollars. Oh, he has. Oh, I think he's got $1 billion
now. Toilet. He has this. He has that.
He's playing on that nostalgia factor.
Yeah, and he plays
because he probably did have a Happy Days life. But, you know, he probably was.
Well, no, because he was too rich to have an Happy Days life. He already grew up wealthy, but he sells that working class Happy Days life to people who want to bring that back. They see immigration as a affront or an infiltration of that life. So
because I always think that
it's the real basis of the conservatism,
conservatives,
yeah.
And I think the difference,
the way of life that we had before.
No, that's xenophobic.
The fundamental difference between Trump and Farage is that, or Britain and America, is that misty-eyed love for a period in America is the 1950s, isn't it?
Yes.
And in
before
this country,
the civil rights.
In this country, it's the war. You know, Farage is selling the Second World War to us on a constant basis. We go back to because our peak,
even though it was an absolutely miserable time in the
fucking abysmal time.
Yeah, it was horrible. There were food shortages. None of the men were around.
Except recently, I've been reading
bombed.
I was reading a book about what it was like to live in London during the Blitz, and in the run up to D-Day, where it was full of Americans and Canadians and African soldiers and Indian soldiers, and the parties were fucking awesome by the sounds of it, because people were literally going, this could well be the last party I ever go to.
Yeah,
so
this party could have a bomb land right on it.
Yeah, the guy I'm dancing with could easily be dead tomorrow, basically. So
that's why there's a lot of milkmen's children out there.
It's pretty wild.
Syphilis ran rampant.
Yeah, probably. But you know.
And also, one of the things we never talk about is that there was a huge amount of looting went on during the Blitz. We always say it was these stoic working class people going.
Yeah, they rebuilt their communities. They didn't leave.
Yeah, they were climbing through their neighbors' houses, nicking the sideboard. Basically.
Yeah, right. And not trying to be funny, like my grandma. This is a true story. My grandma was in the East End during the Blitz, and she had apparently the story because my grandfather was fighting the war, and she was pregnant with my mom, so a bomb landed where the crib was.
Wow.
Yeah, in the building. So my grandma was on the first fucking bus to Devon, where they weren't bombing, right? So, this whole, we stayed during the war, East End, blah, 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 blah. No, people got the fuck out of there. They got the fuck out of there when things got a little too close to home. So,
But it reminds me of a friend of mine.
It's a fantasy.
A friend of mine
it's a fantasized version of it.
Exactly, because we have this impression, like
you're selling a TV show.
I have a friend who lived in Kiev during the invasion, and I had to get her out. I had to persuade her to actually leave Kiev in the end, and with a lot of arguments, with thinking that she might be safe, and then getting her out. But then subsequently, her ex-husband remained in Ukraine because men couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Still can't leave. And I said to her, well, how's he making a living? Because in my head, everybody was in a trench or a bunker being bombed constantly, right? Like the Blitz films that you see. Yeah. And she said, oh, no, he's a tennis coach.
Basically, still living their lives.
Earning a living as a tennis coach, basically.
Well,
of course he is, because people still want to play bloody tennis.
Well, no,
Basically,
because
of course,
in the
you know.
modern era, it's going to be completely different from how life was in the 1940s, right?
Yeah.
So the war in the modern era is probably very, very different. So,
Well, I imagine maybe
nothing I want to
not so
experience.
much.
Huh?
I imagine maybe not so much. I mean, they do, you know, potentially more brutal, but I don't know. The despite the number of bombs that Russia's been dropping, I still don't think it equates to what we dropped on Germany
Right.
during
Or
the
what
Second
Germany
World War.
probably dropped on us.
Well, they were less successful than us in the
Yeah.
end. Bomber Harris was more responsible. You know, we wrote
Yeah.
the history of the Second World War. Bomber Harris, if he'd been a Nazi, would have been one of the worst characters in history ever, basically, because he destroyed entire cities.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying is Nigel is selling the fantasy of the good old fashioned. I used to be able to leave my door open, no crime.
Yeah.
You know, there were no darkies, no Irish, no what, blah blah blah. There was none. You know, there was, you know, people looked after each other, blah blah blah. You, it's a fantasy. It doesn't that time does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
There is nothing that either Trump or Farage can do to really make that
Bring it
happen.
back.
It will
Yeah.
never come back again. But people vote
And
once.
sadly,
And until those people die,
yeah.
which some of them soon, most of them soon will. That the idea
Well,
is going to be
well,
around
but then
until
you look
they
at
die
that.
off. Huh?
You do look at that Jubilee format, and there is a younger generation with the same ideas,
There's a
and
younger
that's what
generation
bothers me.
who do not have any life experience whatsoever, who are going to understand that that is not the way forward in life, right?
Yeah, you'd
Um,
hope.
well, yes, I do, because we
Yeah,
have just too much information out there now.
yeah.
I mean, people can
Yeah,
live in their
eventually,
echo chambers, but you know,
eventually, you'd hope it turns around. Basically.
yes, you know, like
Um,
because that's what sort of happens, right? It's you know, the right wing younger people end up mellowing out, and the really far left younger people end up being more conservative as they get older.
once they
So
get a
into
house, once
yeah,
they get a mortgage,
yeah,
normally, in my experience.
so
I've
maybe
seen
it could be a lot
I've
of
seen some
that
wonderful left-wing young people suddenly flip over into Thatcherism, basically at the point that they get
yeah,
their first
because they were going
mortgage.
to lose their
Because you're
house and
getting-
my mortgage is going to go up. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, you know, again, we're selling a fantasy. They're selling a fantasy to older people who vote.
Ollie, is that how it played out in the last election with you guys? Was the Trump guy, was he selling a sort of perfect Canada? What was Canada's perfect period that they would
No,
hark back to?
it wasn't that. He wasn't trying to sell that. It's just everybody knew that he was in bed with a lot of Trump's ideas,
Right.
right? So we just no, we don't even want to take a chance on that, especially when Trump started coming out with the 51st state bullshit, because then right away we saw that candidate and saying, okay, sure, well, let's make a deal. That's what everybody was thinking.
He would have instantly sold you down the river. Yeah.
Right, that's everybody thought.
Yeah.
All right, no, he's Maple MAGA, right? So he would have sold us right out to him.
There's a problem, and
So-
and we discussed it earlier about the
He didn't even win his seat, right, when he was running for election. He didn't even win his seat.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how
That's
much he lost popularity.
Yeah.
Right now, he's still trying to talk somebody else in his party to give him a seat.
Really?
So, yeah,
That's a very
that way he
Farage
can-
trick.
he's not allowed to speak in Parliament unless he gets a seat, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So,
The you know, this is what's happening here is kind of similar. We've got Farage, who is literally stealing, ripping ideas off from Trump's, you know, blatantly. Literally said this week he wants to send immigrants to prisons in El Salvador.
Criminals.
Yeah.
He said
They literally said
British criminals.
even
he
British
wants to send.
criminals, right?
Yeah.
Literally said
Wow.
that. So, you know, it's stolen. He's literally reading what Trump is doing and he's saying it to his base,
Yeah.
who are stupid. So they think that that might actually be a good idea, right? But there's a disconnect because these English people are not seeing that it's the same as Trump. You ask those same English people if they like Trump, I think most of them would say no.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. They would say, no, I don't like Trump, but you like Nigel Farage, who's stealing his policies. He's literally coming out the same policies Trump came
Well, it's
out
because
with.
it's nationalism, isn't it? And I think you've got to be
Yeah.
English. You've got to be an Englishman, i.e., Farage, and what they see as.
Yeah.
I don't know what they see him as. Some sort of gentleman. I don't know.
You know, these are bootlickers. You know, a lot of them are very much, you know, you try to tell them, well, Nigel Farage is a multimillionaire who's literally running a company rather than a political party. He's lining his pockets with membership fees. So I would honestly, you know, have a think about what you're doing there, because if you're a working class person, this is the last person you want to represent you, because they do not actually have your best interest at heart, but they will make up excuses for it.
Strong leaders. Well, because the problem they're being sold in both America and here is that, you know, don't worry about the inflation, don't worry about the cost of living, don't worry about the fact that food seems to have skyrocketed in prices and you can't afford a holiday anymore. It's immigrants. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's how you win.
And in fact,
how you win them
any of those problems are all related to immigrants.
Well, that's what they did, and
I'm the only strong man that can get rid of the immigrants.
Yeah. Now they have a horrible. There's a horrible thing going on in America with that, and on the other side, he's giving loads of tax breaks to extremely rich people and taking away benefits.
The worst part is that they're not seeing on that side is the people that he's punishing and getting rid of. Are the people that are feeding them.
Yeah.
Right? They're the ones that are going to work in the fields for a lot of these farmers and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot, so much more expense.
And thinks Americans will take those jobs. And they won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
Because it doesn't pay enough.
No.
Because the Americans
think
they're above that.
The same thing here. It's exactly the same thing here.
Yeah. And it's all because minimum wage is so low and they're just not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not managed by government. Like there's no oversight to really control them. Right? They can get away with just hiring people under the table and paying them shit wages.
Yeah.
Right? So
which is what Trump's done for years.
All his life.
All the time.
If he pays them at all.
So,
but the that sort of problem is happening here. There's this idea that, you know, we get rid of the immigrants and those will be more jobs for English people. Well, I'm not trying to be funny, but let's see what those English people are doing right now. They're outside of hotels protesting asylum seekers staying in hotels.
In the middle of the week.
In the middle of the fucking week. What are you doing? I'm here to protect my kids. Why don't you go spend some time with your fucking kids instead of being stood out here protesting?
Don't you think turning your fucking community into a bunch of angry bloody men prancing up and down looking for a fight
is a blood-baying mob? You know,
this is not doing your kids any good at all.
Yeah, it's terrible. So you know, and you ask them. You say to them, will you go pick fruit and vegetables? Will you go? Will you clean those offices? They won't do it in a million fucking years.
I'm going to read out.
I'm not doing that.
One angry pagan said in the chat that I'm actually still hopeful that real improvements are coming from this government, and I'm going to reserve judgment until I've seen all their policies being put forward through Parliament.
Okay.
And into action. There is good stuff coming. I tend to agree with that. And yet, this week, the Labour Party put out a proposal from the Home Office saying that you can report your delivery driver if you think he's living in an immigrant hotel.
Did you hear that one
story? Now, I don't know what it's like around you, Scott, but like every single restaurant, I live right in the middle of the city in Brighton, and I'm surrounded by restaurants of all sorts, from McDonald's over there to high-class restaurants over here. I have a great choice on delivery. I know that's not normal. Well, people know where I live.
Everybody knows he lives in Brighton.
But I would say that there are always 10 to 15 delivery drivers outside any of those popular restaurants every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting their food delivered by them, and this government is saying
they wouldn't do
to
these
people that
paid.
Yeah.
But then there's ridiculous stories coming out, like by the asylum seeker makes £6,000 a month doing Uber Eats. I'm like, there's no
But nobody,
possible
no,
fucking
there's
way.
no way that you can do that.
make
And
that
also,
sort of money.
if you got rid of all of those people, what would happen is you wouldn't be able to have food delivered anymore because there are no English kids queuing up for those jobs.
No,
Basically, it's
they don't
just
wanna
not
do it.
happening. You know,
They don't want to do it.
Of course
No.
they don't, and the parents don't want them to do that job either. Basically, it's like
But
it's crazy.
This is not
Anybody
to get
can
not to
see
get
it
chicken
that way.
not to get chicken and egg about it. If someone already has a job, how can someone steal it from you?
Yeah.
Ollie, what were
Well,
you
there
gonna say?
was a great post on Instagram today that said if as Trump says, all of the immigrants are criminals, rapists, and murderers, then exactly which job is it you're doing that they're coming to steal?
Yeah.
You have to be one of those three things, basically. So. Maybe it's Trump is worried about his own job as a criminal rapist.
Maybe.
All deflection. Yeah, I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, little mama woke up. Nap over.
Oh man, what time is it there?
Murph. I got 10 to 8.
5 to 6.
5 to 8. Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, Oliver was on here doing up figures. I found this one just recently.
Oh wow!
It's pretty blurry.
Did you paint that?
I didn't. No, a friend painted that for me.
Oh, a minotaur.
Yeah.
There we go.
My son is
Did a really good job of it.
my eldest son runs a games company, and in his office in Madrid, there is a room just full of those, and and the landscapes, dioramas, board game. They're absolutely beautiful. They're all painted in house by.
Damn thing's heavy. That's a
by the
lead one.
modelling
That
team.
thing's heavy.
Yeah. Well, they go and work in the office, and I just go and hang out with my grandson in that room, basically, just looking at everything. And my son keeps coming in and saying, they're not toys. He can't play with it because he's only 3 years old. And I'm going, no, but I can. It's fine for me. The ones on the upper shelves, I'm all right to play with. So. But it is quite an incredible art and an art form that I think is undervalued to an extent. They're amazing sculptures and paintings. Right, guys, I reckon we are at 5 to midnight, and we don't need to drag this on into the late night. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for your contributions, particularly the fruit-based ones. We've definitely defined rhubarb as a vegetable, not a fruit.
Yep.
So at
And
least we've
tomatoes
achieved
are
something
fruits,
tonight.
not a vegetable.
And the wrestling one.
Tomatoes are fruits, not a vegetable, right? So.
And we know what the heaviest fruit is as well, which is
Is it
a
Pumpkin.
pumpkin?
it's a
I don't know
pumpkin.
about
Yeah,
that. It I guess it's squash in general.
What do you
if
mean
we open
squash?
this debate up, we'll be here all night. So I think we should.
They do
leave
some
it at that.
mutated things with pumpkins in the States, though, right?
No,
Yeah,
they grow them in
that's
the world record pumpkins always come from those bastard cheaters, Alaska, who have 6 months of daytime and then they get the most enormous pumpkin possible. They're cheating.
This is what.
Ridiculous.
This is where a civil war will start. Obviously,
A normal
back to
pumpkin
Russia, you
growth
cheater.
wouldn't be the biggest fruit. That's all I'm saying is normal pumpkin
You
growth.
know who the
wouldn't be
biggest fruit
biggest
here
fruit.
is?
Scott,
Me.
it's you.
The milkman.
The milk
Well, we
man.
learned some stuff tonight about we're not going to start our own party. We're not going to
Scott's
get
never
Scott
gonna
to
become a
start his
wrestler.
wrestling career, unfortunately, even
not
though we've
happening.
done all of his PR work for him, all of his branding.
My branding's done, but it'll never
And
happen.
Next
Feel free
week,
to
the
steal
action
it.
figure will be available to purchase on
I would
Graham's
love to be an
website.
action figure. My 50th birthday
There
is
you go.
coming up next year. Do that for me. Yeah,
That's
make me
some-
an action
Somebody
That's-
with a
that's-
3D printer, get on that.
I was about to say
That
you
is
could get a
something
Funko
now.
Pop.
You can upload some pictures of yourself and have
How
one
cool
delivered
would that be to
3
make
days
your
You
own
later.
can make
Funko
your
Pop?
own, I think. There's companies that
Yeah.
you can like make your own like little chibi animation of yourself and then make your own Funko
Yeah.
Pop.
That's
Yeah.
hysterical. I had no idea.
The world is changing. 3D color printing.
Oh, can you
which
become a
I-
Labubu?
I was looking at a 3D
What?
color printer the other day, and I've got a 3D printer upstairs that I've put into a cupboard because I gave up with the mess that it kept making. But I was eyeing this 3D color printer today and thinking, how could I what do I need to sell? Could I sell one of my children to buy that? And unfortunately, I don't think
I
they're
saw
valuable
somebody
enough.
with a 3D
so-
color printer print off the perfect Iron Man mask.
I know.
Ooh.
They
Yeah.
are
You
incredible.
You know what I'd
They
make with a
really
3D
Yeah.
printer?
No, we
Another
don't. You're,
another 3D
that-
printer.
Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
that for your
Typical
own
Scott.
Scott.
I don't know, Scott, but maybe I'm just going to cut the stream at this point. Basically,
You know what I'd make? I'd make
I
a
wanna-
replica of my.
hey, there is a place in Brighton that does that. There's an
always wanted
industrial
to do
unit
that.
over in Port Slade, and I walked past it during COVID. I used to walk past it, and they do body casts, knob casts, breast casts, and buttock bras.
Only a gay man would want to know what it feels like to get fucked by their own cock.
All right, that's it. All right.
And on that- on that
we
thought,
reached it.
Hurry.
Jeez.
I want to
Have a
thank.
wonderful weekend, everybody.
I really want to thank you
Time to
guys for
put the
turning up
brakes on
tonight.
this.
I really appreciate it. Scott, I know you're officially a British person these days, basically, but I want to thank North America for providing the three of you tonight. Thank you very much for turning up.
And
And
Africa.
thank you, everyone in the chat. And thank you, Graham, for letting us run your channel for a while. And
Woot, woot.
sorry, Ollie.
Buttons.
I just said woot woot. Nothing.
Whoop,
Whoop,
whoop.
All right,
What was
guys,
that, Ollie?
thanks very much. I
Yeah.
will see you on Monday for Morning Brew on Monday morning. Oh, look, one last minute. Darian, thank you very much for the £10, the last minute £10, just to prove that Politics Social can raise money without Graham. Yeah,
Look at
that's
that.
my target. My target is to generate money while he's asleep, basically. It'll be the first time in about 10 years for him. So thank you very much for that, Darian. Very
That
much
is everyone.
appreciated.
That is literally everybody's ambition in this world. Make money while you're sleeping.
It's always been my rule in life is try and come up with things that make money while I'm sleeping, basically.
Yeah.
And I keep failing at that because look, it's midnight and we're on YouTube earning money for Graham instead.
Yeah,
basically.
not us.
So,
Who is we?
Yeah.
midnight for us, you guys, it's just mid-afternoon. Anyway, thanks
I-
everyone.
I'm gonna go have supper and then have a marathon fucking session of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm thinking.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Sounds great.
That sounds perfect.
Night
All right,
flame.
I am going to wrap us up, guys. Thank you very much and see you all on Monday.
Toodles.
Bye, everyone.
Plates.
I think mics are off, but I never know.
Mm.
Somebody-
yeah.
Don't say anything at all. Like I managed to trap myself in the last time I did this. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna go.
I was about to
and
say, why don't
Yeah.
we just double check before
We're,
we'll
we're
wait till
still
30 seconds.
we're
We're still on
we're
the bin,
still on
too.
our channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still on the bin.
And all you beautiful binsters over there, it's the weekend, so we will see you guys bright and early on Monday. In the meantime, drink some water, tell somebody that they smell good, and drink from a garden
Go-
hose. Oh,
Go disc golfing.
yeah,
It's
go.
beautiful this weekend.
Not for us, probably tornadoes, but for everyone else who doesn't have I mean, I guess it would help your disc game. You just put that bitch in a funnel.
Throw
cloud.
pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, you get the par fives,
Yeah.
birdies or dingers. All right, guys, love you.
Dingers.
Bye.
yeah, I love you.